Go for the beats. Go for the hit. And the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So this is what happens when I'm away. We get some fresh tunes.
Inmates
Okay.
ran the asylum, baby.
I like it. I'm in, man. I am in with the
You
new
like that?
tune. Yes. Yes. Good work out of you guys. All right. Hope everybody's doing well out there. If you're not, you better look in the mirror because it is 12 o'clock on the East Coast. And that 12 is fitting because that's how many wins the Philadelphia Eagles have through
Word.
13 games.
Da, da, da.
12-1. Happy Monday, everybody. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. D Gunn, B Brooks, R Ellis, back together, better than ever. Hope you're doing well out there, everybody. Good to see everybody. I've lost my show, according to people. That's back. Not my show anymore, man. I hear you.
Hey,
I
man,
hear you.
Look,
Fitness Rebel, thank you. Good to see you, Chris. I see everybody. I appreciate you guys. Ray, what up? What up, Eagles fan? Fitness Rebel, Chris, Mr. Taz, Hungry, John, South Jersey, D, Little Tone, Griffin. Hi, everybody. Appreciate it. How you guys doing? Did you guys have a good weekend?
yeah, man, had a great weekend. Hectic, but great. Did you?
I did.
Did you?
I
I mean,
did.
you finally took a day off. Did you learn how to relax?
No, hold on. Did you take a full day off from everything?
Not a full, but a good chunk day off. I didn't take a full, but it was good. It was great. It was great. Listen, I went down to Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City, where
Yep.
you guys are very familiar.
Yep.
And Derek, you're down there every single week. Barrett and I have done several shows from there, and they couldn't have been better. Zach and the crew, our guy Zach, who you guys know is the best.
Yep.
Welcome back, Ron. Thank you, Eric. Ron. But no, Zach and the crew are the greatest. So they took care of me, and my wife and I had a blast, man. An awesome Friday. So I appreciate everybody.
I took my wife down there on the Thursday night game, and she kept saying, then I stayed Friday and did our show Sports Take from there. She kept saying, look, stop worrying about me. I'll be fine. So she was on the other side of the door getting a lot of her work done. And then we stayed at a great steak dinner there, walked around, chilled, and then came home, man. I tell you what, a few hours just to clear your mind is, not think about X's and O's and all that good stuff. It's like cleansing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was great. We
Refreshing,
did the
clean.
same
I feel
thing.
bad because I took my wife there.
You got to do it, man.
You take your wife everywhere else. You take
We
her on,
actually mixed
you
it
know.
a little Top Golf. We
I love Top Golf.
walked around to the shops. We had a sick view from our room, so it was awesome, man. It was awesome. Food was great. Everything was perfect, right on, spot on. As you
Now,
would say.
had you played Top Golf before?
Yes, not there though.
Okay.
And it was a lot of fun, man. It was, and you could do, not only can you do Top Golf, you could do like virtual, you could be a pitcher.
Yep.
You can play soccer. You can play football, throwing passes with your accuracy. So I did a little bit of everything, man. It was
Yo,
good.
what's up with Eric Winters? Rob, B Brooks, and D Gunn acted a fool while you were gone. What? What you talking about, man?
Is this what happened? What?
No,
Like
we just turned the show out, Rob.
That's it.
We just turned it out.
That's
That's
right.
all we did.
You're like, we got rid of him, man. Let's go. And you guys had fun. So I'm glad you had fun. But you know what else had fun yesterday? The Eagles and everybody watching the Eagles who was an Eagles fan. I'm running out of superlatives, guys. This is now, we're to the point of, this is just utter dominance. Every single week, week in and week out. They are just taking it to, like, the final was 48-22. If you watch that, that's totally misleading. It was nowhere near that close. That was destruction. I mean, from the jump, you had two lengthy drives, and then the one play after the drop punt or whatever that was. And in the blink of an eye, that game was over, man. They just hammered a division foe in North Jersey.
You know, On our pregame show at Ocean Casino, we were debating were the Eagles going to come out passing or running the ball. And I'd asked John McMullen that also. And for me, I just felt they were going to come out passing. They had no Adoree Jackson, no Xavier McKinney in the back end of that defense. And as porous as they were against the run, I just felt the Eagles were going to say, you know what? We just come out and smoke this team right away. They go down the field, 14 plays, 84 yards, chew up 8 minutes. And on that drive, I'm looking at my charts, they hit 7 different receivers on the opening drive. It was like playing sandlot football.
Mm-hmm.
It really was, watching them go down the field. And it was over. After the opening drive, it was over. It was game, plain and simple.
It was. He hit 9 on the day, but yeah, there were 8 by the end of the first quarter, there were 8 different receivers who had caught footballs.
It's unbelievable.
8.
I didn't believe it at any point that we weren't going to win the game, number one, just, going into this game. A lot of people were kind of worried, this team is they're not good. Yeah. They caught lightning in a bottle. They played well because nobody knew how to defend a Saquon Barkley-led offense that, the quarterback was just a guy. Once we saw the blueprint game plan, I knew they were going to crush them, man, because they just didn't have enough. They didn't have enough of anything. They're not a good team. So we're supposed to beat teams. Like, you're supposed to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And that was a team we better have beat and beat bad like we did. Look, I'm sorry, but
no, go ahead.
Their secondary, they only had one guy, Moreau, the only guy there that played, have any time that had any type of starting experience from a secondary standpoint. Fabian Moreau's the only guy that has some time that he can play. No, they're not good. They didn't have Leonard Williams on the defensive side of the ball, so you could run the ball on them all day. They were already bad against the run.
Yep.
Okay, Ojulari played pretty good, but he's just a pass rusher. And once you found out that you can run the ball because the two defensive ends were too small, it was a wrap. We just did what we wanted to do. All right, we feel like pass, we're going to pass. All right, we feel like running, we're going to run. I mean, they didn't have to really sweat it out there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Barrett, it's every phase too. Like for a while, we were really worried about the special teams, and I know they had the punt block, but other than that, the special teams has gotten much better. We were worried about the pass rush. The pass rush has been dominating. Over the course of the last 3 weeks, they have the best pass rush in football. We were worried about the passing game and pass protection. I don't think we're worried about that stuff anymore. They just keep on getting better in areas. That's the thing. We keep worrying about complacency, like it's going to go the other way. Not only are they not complacent, they get better and better and better at everything. They're fine-tuning everything as the weeks go on here. They had that little tiny lull period with the loss to Washington, the Colts game, and the Texans game. But since then, man, they've just vaulted right back up, and they're rolling people right now.
Bro, I'm looking at this and what the hell is wrong with ESPN? What are they doing? What are they thinking about? They're saying the metrics of some type of algorithm is saying that Dallas is a better team than the Eagles. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
there's no match. Defensively, offensively, and even on special teams, we're a better team than Dallas.
Yeah, there is what there is, Barrett. They can call it whatever they want. They could say it's computer generated and statistical and algorithms and all that. It's a desperate plea for people to discuss their rankings. It's a hot take, couched as a statistical, denomination. That's all it is. It's bogus. It's BS. If you're still trotting that sorry ass nonsense out after this past week, then you have zero. You had no credibility to begin with me, but you have even less now.
I think all it is conversation fodder. That's all it is.
And they're getting what they want.
They get exactly what they want, which is a reaction from the general public, especially in this region. So all they care about is when they sit back, look at the numbers for this discussion. Look at what we generated here. I don't think it's anything more than that because they have enough football minds up there to sit there and know what is and what isn't.
Well, Dallas knows.
Oh, yeah. But to control the narrative of what they want to do, which is to generate numbers, interest, clicks, whatever it may be, that's exactly what they got because we're sitting here talking about this 11 minutes into our show.
I'm trying to think of
plain example.
Who has the game on Christmas Eve? Who has our game?
I would imagine it's Fox, since it's both two NFC teams. I may be wrong, but
No, it's a Saturday night. It might
it's
be
a Saturday night game. So
different, maybe. I think last night on the broadcast, Tirico said that they were in Arizona for Christmas. So
yeah, that's what I thought.
NBC.
What week is that? Is that week 7? Week 16?
It would be
So
considered week 6. No, 15 because it's the
No, we just
16,
completed week 14.
425 game.
it would be 16.
It's on NFL Network.
So it's on.
It's
It's a
According to
Fox
this-
game. It's Fox. I see. I got it now.
Yeah.
Fox.
That's what I thought, since they're both NFC teams.
It's 425, man.
Yep.
That's the prime time
For what?
for a holiday.
Absolutely. Well,
For
for
holiday
Christmas
football.
Eve. Yeah.
Yeah, for holiday football, it's the prime time for holiday football. I was thinking. I mean, they're just trying to generate numbers. They know that it's a heated rivalry, and it wouldn't be much conversation to just talking about an Eagles team as dominant as they are. They understand that there's nothing that they can really say from an Eagles standpoint to get the whole entire United States interested in it.
Yeah.
So what do? You put two fan bases who are top markets against each other, and you use the lesser of the one to try to generate clickbait.
Well, I think the other thing is they know it's Dallas, and however you feel about Dallas, and I think we all feel the same way about Dallas. They're a polarizing team, which means people are going to react no matter what, and they know that. If it was a team other than Dallas, I don't think they even have been first ahead of the Eagles, but it's Dallas, so that cranks up Cowboy haters and Cowboy lovers get cranked up about that.
Well, it is by far the best matchup of the day, because when you look at some of the other matchups, you have Chiefs, Seahawks, decent matchup. You have Giants, Vikings, okay.
Yeah.
Bengals, Patriots, okay.
Yeah.
Then you have the Commanders, 49ers, okay. So that is the marquee matchup of the day. No question about it.
Oh, hands down it is. But I mean, what I really, you guys know, I say this every single week. What we're seeing is remarkable. We may never see it again with this Eagles team. I mean, I would just tell people just enjoy every second of it. I can't emphasize that enough, because we haven't seen this since 2004, and we never saw it before that.
Well, let me
where
ask
this
you
team
this.
got off to a 12-1 start.
Well, let me ask you this. You've been a lifetime Eagles fan. I've been a fan since 95.
Yeah.
D-Gun, 97.
Yeah.
Is this the best team you've seen constructed, put together? I mean, not talking about the end result. I'm talking about just right now.
Yeah, I would say yes, because here's the thing. I'll work back to two of them. I'll do 17 and 04. In 17, we all had that reset when Wentz got hurt. And we all thought, the season could be over here. And it just sort of level set everything. And it was a little bit different. And they had a loss before the game before Wentz got hurt. You remember they lost their second game to Seattle.
To Seattle.
And then you go back to 2004 when T.O. gets hurt. It's kind of a game changer too, right? And that sort of changed the way we looked at things. I'd have to say so far through, if I'm just looking at this through the prism of 13 games, it's the best I've seen an Eagles team start.
It was a great
not just record, everything else.
Yeah, that's a great debate, because it was presented to me as well yesterday. And I said it was twofold. Number one, just like you said, Rob, as of right now, yes. But to get a final determination, when I compare to 04 and 17, I cannot make a final determination until the season is concluded to see where they are or see how far they've gone. 04, they got to the Super Bowl, lost. 17, they got to the Super Bowl and won. So to do a thoroughly fair evaluation, I think you're going to have to wait and see how deep they go, And there's no question right now, they are the odds-on favorite to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. But on paper, as we sit here today, when you look at the abundance of moves compared to 04 and 17, they made a splash with T.O. They made some splashes at 17, bringing in, Alshon, Jay Ajayi, LeGarrette Blount,
Tim Jernigan.
They made some splashes then, but the volume of splashes they made going back to Kazir White, to Reddick, and it kept going. Bradbury, they kept going. Sue and Linval Joseph. It just kept going. It just keeps going and going, and can't wait to see what they do with the punter situation now. Wow. There's no question. No question.
It's rare that you see it this complete. There's usually something that you feel like, oh boy, this is going to be a problem. And special teams look like it was going to be that for a while. But they've improved the special teams. The return game's way better now. And who knows what Sipos, what the effect is, if how long he's out, we don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think what you're seeing with this team is they're as driven a team. Think about it. There's not even another team in the league that has 2 losses. Not even one. I mean, every other team's got at least 3 losses. And Dallas, for example, yesterday, I mean, they survived. They didn't win that game. They survived that game. If they were playing anybody else, it would have been a loss. Kansas City's lost a couple of games here. They didn't play all that well yesterday. Buffalo's lost 3 games. The Eagles every single week are dialed in. That's a special mentality that they have. That's a special intangible that they have that emanates from the coach and from the quarterback and the vets, that this team is locked in every single week. Like if there's ever going to be a letdown, it could be this week against the Bears, because you have the Cowboys on the forefront, right in front of them. And the Bears are coming off a bye week, and but I don't believe it with this team. Like I do not. If for some reason the Eagles were to lose that game to the Bears, it won't be because they're looking ahead. I don't believe that. I simply don't believe it.
The Bears have a decent running game. Justin Fields is not beating this team. They basically gutted their defense, got rid of all their key players on defense, sold them for future draft picks. They have a decent running game, but that's it. The receiving core is average. Justin Fields has gotten better as a passer, but still, he's getting more headlines for running the football. I mean, what is he in rushing now? Isn't he approaching 1,000 yards?
Yeah, he's going to get over 1,000.
So outside, no, it's a very one-dimensional team, and I don't think in any way, shape, or form, even if the Eagles have an off day, they should be able to control that team. You don't overlook an opponent, but should be able to control.
Yeah. We just held Saquon Barkley. We held him to 28 yards on 9 carries. We held Derrick Henry to 30 yards rushing. In fact, Tannehill had 34, outrushed the NFL's best running back in the past, 5-6 years. I'm looking at it.
Jonathan Taylor too. Don't leave him out.
We held for 8 to 84 yards. He was averaging like 100, 105 yards a game. We know how to stop the run now. We have the horses to stop the run. The only thing stopping this Eagles team is this Eagles team. We cut down on mistakes and we stay healthy. The sky's the limit on where this team can go. There's no team that's built more effectively in accomplishing what they want to accomplish than the Eagles. They can do whatever they want to. And the biggest thing that separates this team from anything else is the offensive line and defensive line. They have now established themselves as the number 1 units in the NFL. Everybody's talking about Dallas and their ability to rush the passer. Yes, they can rush the passer, but they cannot stop the run. The Eagles can rush the passer and stop the run. You look at even the 49ers. The Eagles have a better defensive line than even the 49ers. Now we know the linebackers are a lot different. But yeah, I mean, you got Bosa. He's the only one they have on that line that I would allocate some resources to make sure we got a chip or a double team somewhere or wherever he is. We got to know where he is. But other than that, this defensive line is all right. Pick your poison. BG had 3 sacks. Nobody can block Hassan Reddick, who's now become the spark plug to give everybody else. They're eating off the fruits of his labor. They're eating off Hassan Reddick, generating pressure from his side. I mean, Sweat is playing at a great level. He started the sack fest out with the first sack of the game. I'm trying to think of a team that has a better offensive defensive line. I can't think of any.
Well, you said offensive and defensive lines, but I'll take it a step further. This team is the best team in the league in terms of absorbing injuries because of depth. In terms of depth, there's not another team in the league that has as much depth on both sides of the football as this team, whether it's the trenches. You look at the versatility they now have in the trenches. You got Nakobe Dean, who's hungry, who's playing better whenever he gets in now. So if you lost the linebacker, if you lost Kazir White, I feel much better about putting Nakobe Dean in there.
Oh, no,
they've lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They've been without Avonte Maddox. They've been able to overcome those deficiencies.
How about Ellis with 2 S's?
Ellis. Yeah, exactly. So should we call him Ellis?
I'm changing my name if he keeps playing like this. I'm adding an S.
We can call him Ellis.
We're not taking an S. We're not taking an S from him. We're adding one to me. That's what we're doing.
He said Ellis.
Yeah, man. I love Ellis.
Hey, man.
Yeah, ever since he got called up, man, the special teams coverage is a completely different story.
Man. He's jumping out of the screen, man. And that just goes to show how this team is working, man. I did WIP this morning.
Yeah, you did a great job. You did a great job.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Mm-hmm. But when you listen to Jalen Hurts, it's all cause and effect to him. Cause and effect. The cause that he has, he's going to go out there and work his ass off. The effect is the results he's getting. If you don't work, that cause will affect you not to win like that. He understands the cause and effect. So if he gets everybody else on the same page with that same way of thinking, like Hassan Reddick is now on that way of thinking, all right, if I go out there and work my butt off, the effect is everybody else is going to eat and I'm going to eventually eat also. Cause and effect. If you push a guy by using another guy, a la Fletcher Cox getting pushed by Sue, getting pushed by Joseph, Milton Williams, all these guys are trying to buy for more time. There's no way that Fletcher Cox should have had 7 plays in that Washington game. That's utterly ridiculous. Now you're giving him 30 rushes a game, 30 plays a game. It's making him more hungry. He's going in there and he's chomping at the bit because he's not even lathered up. He's not taking a lot of reps. So now he can conserve energy and give it to him every single play that he's out there. And that's what they're doing. They're taking turns of being great. Cause and effect. Because I'm taking less great reps, that means I can give an optimal ability every time I'm on the field. And that's what's working, man. Cause and effect is great. And Jalen has them thinking like that. Because I work so daggone hard throughout the week, the game's going to be easier. Yeah. And that's what it is.
That's the thing too. Like, you're just taking the heart from these teams right away. You are. I mean, the Giants. It was over after that second drive. I know they got one in the beginning of the third or whatever it was. It made it look somewhat close at that point, but they just pulled away. I mean, the Eagles have a plus 146 point differential.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and remember last week? Penalties. 2 penalties for 9 yards. Like, when they see things, this coaching staff and the players, they make corrections during the week. It's not lip service that, we got to get better at that, blah, blah, blah. They mean it, and they get better at it. You know, they got to rush the passer better. They rush the passer better. Got to be better in the passing game. They're better in the passing game. We're going to stop the run better. They stop the run. Or they go out and they get guys like Sue and Linval Joseph, to Barrett's point about now how you're in a rotation and you get better. I mean, that's how you get better. It's remarkable. And even yesterday, like, there is a little bit of good fortune on their side. It looks like the Blankenship and Lane Johnson injuries are not that serious. Knock on wood, you know, and you need that kind of luck. Dallas just lost another starting offensive lineman.
Yeah, they did.
You know, for the season, torn ACL. He's done. Steele's done. So that's a big deal.
Samuels.
Right. Yeah, and you got to get fortunate to some degree, and they have been, man. And everything's there, everything's clicking right now. And I don't feel like they're peaking at the wrong time or whatever. You know, some people float those kind of theories out there. I just don't see it. Like, the whole peak at the wrong time is sort of like you're riding this fake wave.
Yes, that's exactly what you're saying.
You know, like
great
you mentioned earlier,
yes,
Barrett, like
great.
the Giants, the way they started the season. Yep. This is not a fake wave, man. You know, this is a real team that is doing things every week that shows you that. Like, do you remember during the week we were talking about, as the week went on, we found out the weather was going to be bad. There were people who would say, it's got to favor the Giants with their running game, right? I'm like, really? The Eagles' running game is better than the Giants' running game. So
right.
How is that favoring the Giants? The Eagles are better at it than the Giants are. So there's any condition you want to do. Like, if you're getting later in the year and it's crappy weather, fine. The Eagles can handle that. They can run the ball if they need to. If you're playing in Arizona in the Super Bowl and you want to crack it up through the air, you can crack it up through the air. There's no issue that you have to skirt or be afraid of if you're the Eagles.
Oh, you look at you look at the running game, man.
there were some people that were disappointed in the fact that they didn't run Miles Sanders enough, that he should have had more yards. I don't think so. I think they understand that they're running him not necessarily on a pitch count, but a need to run basis. You know what I'm saying? They only need him when they need him.
Yeah.
And because of that, he's playing and he's healthy. Saquon Barkley is used up.
Yeah.
He's like
they've wrung him out like a rag.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
There's no drops anymore to get out of that.
Right now, he's the lemon that you squeezed on that thing that you get the lemon, all the lemon juice out. They squeezed all the juice out of him. Now it's just the rind and stuff and the pulp right there. That's all that he is right now because they giving him too much.
Yeah.
Well, that should go to show you he only had 9 carries, 9 touches, and they kept showing ISO shots of him on the sideline, rotating his neck and his shoulder and stuff, and he had that neck stinger, I guess. So between Breida and the other kid Brightwell, they were the bulk of the load for that team out of necessity. But they've overused Saquon because of the deficiencies at tight end, at wide receiver. They have virtually nothing. When your leading receiver this deep into a season has less than 600 yards, what does that tell you about what the offense is or is not?
Right, exactly. Another thing, let me give you this stat. I got this morning from being on the show. They had 156 yards before contact. Miles Sanders had 156. The running game had 156 yards before contact. Now we're talking about
that's sick.
A Wink Martindale defense. And they're going to have at least 8 guys in the box, and they're blitzing. That means you've got to get past the initial blitz. And they were still not getting them until they were in the second and third zones of the defense.
That's incredible.
156 yards before contact? Wow. Are you kidding me?
That's incredible, man. That is. It's incredible. Barrett, it's incredible.
To a blitzing team.
Jeez. To any team, but let alone that one. Yeah.
And, bro, Hurts did not get touched on his touchdown.
No, it was like that Colts touchdown. The game winner against the Colts. It was like the parting of the Red Sea again.
Unbelievable block.
These guys are nasty, man.
It was nothing but a draw play, but Sam Otto blocked the 3 technique, and Kelsey pulled around and kicked out the linebacker, and he could have stopped and walked into the end zone. That's how open it was. They spread you out when they want to. They can put everybody in there, and still run it the way they want to. This is. I've never seen a defensive line and offensive line impact the way these guys impact since the days when I was playing.
Yeah, it is. They just take it to teams and they manhandle them. All right, when we come back, we're going to dive into the offense. The game yesterday. Generally what they're doing. I mean, they have the potential. They already have a 1,000-yard receiver, 1,000-yard runner. They're likely going to get Devontae Smith too. If Goddard had stayed healthy, he might have been over 1,000. So this team could have had 4 guys go over 1,000 yards and had 4 guys in double-digit sacks on the other side of the ball.
Wow.
I mean, we may never talk about these kind of things again. It may never happen again. So this is unique. We'll get into the offense when we come back. Then we'll do some defense. We'll update you on injuries as well. Just tell you where everything is. We're going to dive into what was week 14 of the NFL and some of the big happenings around the league, including the 49ers and what they're doing with Brock Purdy. We'll get into that. Mix in some Joel Embiid, had 53 points as well. We will discuss that also. So a lot to dive into. Don't go anywhere. Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis. All right, I'm going to talk to you right now about Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group, because knowing who to trust with your finances can be a challenge. Let's face it. I found the right person, and I want you to find that right person as well. And it's Jim Murray of Principal Financial Group. And I can tell you from my personal experience that, I was trying to find the right person for a long time, and it was a struggle. Okay. It really was for me. And I found that person. And for you, it could be retirement planning, could be 401k review if you're not really thrilled with the direction that's going. Any of the above, really. And I have entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollovers to Jim. I couldn't be any happier. You will be as well. Give him a call, 610-996-4751. 610-996-4751. You could email him as well. Murray, MURRAY.Jim at principal.com. That's Murray.Jim at principal.com.
post-game show with Seth Joyner,
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn,
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney,
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
and Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio. Destination Downingtown is rolling back prices for a December to remember. For a limited time, you can own, not lease, brand new 2023 Jeep Wranglers for only $30,995 or $339 per month. New Ram starting at only $30,995 or new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs $189 per month. Zero down can deliver. Get the price you want, the selection you need, and the VIP treatment you deserve. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Big Finish Sales Event.
Did you know taxes could be your biggest expense during retirement? Are most of your assets in tax-deferred accounts like IRAs and 401ks? Taxes are historically low today, but we're facing significant headwinds in the future. Do you have a plan? The Thrive Financial team has more than 100 years of experience helping people across the Delaware Valley with forward-looking tax planning. Learn how to shift your money from forever tax to no or low tax accounts. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Man, I have to get used to this. Like when I would hear the old song, I was like a trained dog. I was like alert and up and
It's time to go. It's time to go.
It's go time. But I like it.
Rob, I want you to take a moment.
Yes.
Lay your hand on your computer and let the vibes flow through. If you're already in a good mood, it'll put you in even a better mood before the day is over.
I like it there.
Plain and simple.
A quiet storm, man. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
I like it. All right, so a lot to dive into from the offensive side of the ball of this win and where this team is. So the Eagles are now first in scoring in the NFL. Now they're up to 29.7 points per game. They're second in rushing as well. So yesterday, Jalen Hurts, and we are almost starting to kind of take this for granted, but 21 of 31, 217 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 102.9 passer rating. 77 rushing yards, a touchdown as well, average of 11 yards per carry. Just in the first half alone, 16 of 21, 171, 2 touchdowns, 118 passer rating. And I mentioned nine different receivers caught passes. He is now the first quarterback to have 10-plus rushing touchdowns 2 consecutive seasons in the history of the league. I'm trying to rack my brain and think of a guy who's taken this kind of leap in one season from what he was last year to what and not that he was terrible last year, but he's gone from really good runner, potential with the arm, but not sold, to an MVP candidate. And by the way, Mahomes 3 more picks yesterday for what it's worth.
I would say when you ask that question, the only player that comes to mind right now at the forefront would be Josh Allen from one year to the next. I would say Josh Allen, but outside of that, can't think of anybody. I think Patrick Mahomes, when he really ascended to what he's become, I think it was a gradual progression over a span of 3 seasons. But in terms of just lights on, lights off, lights on from one year to the next, it would be Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But outside of that,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Barrett, can you think of any? I can't.
I was trying to say Mac, but not to this degree.
Yeah.
Maybe
Mac was
Brady.
special.
Brady.
I mean, he took a team to the Super Bowl his rookie year, didn't he?
Well, that team was already set.
That was already set, yeah. But I mean, it was a rookie quarterback who walked in off the street because Drew Bledsoe got hurt and kept that machine rolling. That was a complete team.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, but I guess we almost saw it right away from him. Boy, it's a tough call. You know,
Yeah.
It's a tough call.
Yeah.
But he is just so efficient. You know, like if you blitz him, he's got the ability to get out of the pocket and kill you with his legs. If there's anything there in the air, he's going to kill you that way. He's great on the RPOs, knowing when to give, when to keep, when to pull it back and throw it. He's just got full command right now, and he's got a great deal of confidence. I mean, you're seeing a guy who works his tail off, has a great attitude, and this is the end result. And he's surrounded by talented players, and this is the end result of it, week in and week out, where he's just going out there and lighting it up. I mean, the offense in general is unbelievable. I mean, they've now outscored their last 3 opponents 123-55.
Mm-hmm.
That's
35 plus 3
that's
straight
ridiculous.
games.
That's ridiculous.
First time in 20 years. Like, I swear, I think sometimes, like, it's getting to the point where we're just kind of like, oh yeah, nice. Like, no, this doesn't happen usually.
Are we become so numb to their success, to Jalen Hurts' ability to play the quarterback at this level, that we can't really sit back? I mean, sometimes you got to enjoy the ride, understand the ride, take advantage of what you're seeing happen in front of our very eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, like, my NFL career flew by, and it wasn't until like year 11 of my 12 years that I sit back and say, you know what? I should start getting autographs of people. Like, we played the Raiders. I'm like, man, I should go over there and get Jerry Rice's autograph.
Right.
I mean, little things, Brian Urlacher's autograph, Ray Lewis's autograph, Ed Reed, the amount of players, because I missed out on players like Mr. White getting his autograph. Playing against Leslie O'Neal, Derek Thomas, late and great Derek Thomas, Charles Haley, Leon Lett, Chris Dolman, Ken Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Michael Strait. The list goes on and on. The players that I personally played against that I didn't really take advantage of those opportunities. Now, yeah, at that time, I was battling my ass off, so it really wasn't those things I could say during that time period. I could go by and say, all right, after I can just get through whooping somebody's ass, that I got to turn around and ask for their autograph or something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that happened yesterday. Like the 2 interceptions that Brady threw, the Bucs players asked him for an audit for him to sign the balls. Like, that's weird. Surprised Brady didn't say, you know what you can do with those balls, man? No thank you.
Right. Some of this. That's what you can get. Some of this.
But let me give you this real quick here for Hurts. He's got the most wins in the NFL. He's got the highest passer rating of 108.4 in the NFL. He's got the best TD to interception ratio, which is now up to 22-3. He's got the most rushing touchdowns at 10. At this point, I don't know what else he has to do. Like, short of Mahomes has the reputation and he's established and he's won a Super Bowl. I get it. I get the resume with Mahomes. But if you're just going with this year, head to head, this guy's the MVP.
Mm.
It just is.
Bro, last year, the same game, he threw 3 interceptions. He has 3 interceptions this entire season.
13 games.
That's crazy, ridiculously. When you think about how this kid has went out there and played, it's not like he's just running the ball. It's not like this isn't a Chicago Bear type of offense. This is legit
all right, we can pass the ball when we want to pass the ball from the pocket type of offense.
Yeah.
But it's pick your poison.
Mm-hmm.
Shane Steichen has it whether he has autonomy to say, all right, whatever your strength is, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I'm going to beat you. But he's going to their strengths to say, all right, I'm going to show you don't belong in the same field with me. I'm going to go out there and go against your strength. I'm going to pass it, which is your strength. And then I'm going to turn back a runner ball, which is your weakness.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Two guys went over the 1,000-yard mark yesterday, AJ and Miles Sanders. And Miles Sanders' first time in his career, so that's pretty cool for him. And as a free agent, that's pretty cool for him. But you realize, guys, he averaged 8.5 yards per carry yesterday. 8.5 yards per carry. That speaks to the not touched for, whatever that number you threw out there, which was sick earlier, Barry.
156, yep.
156, yeah. 2 more touchdowns for him. I get it. Like, and I've been very much on the Niner thing, and I still think they're really good and their defense is really legit, and the Cowboy thing and all that. But, I look, this team is not going to be completely stopped. They're just not. They're too good.
Going back to what you were talking about, Jalen, for a moment, I agree hands down that he should be the front runner for the MVP honor. There's no question about it. But I keep going back to the stats from last year. Okay. And I understand Tom Brady is the most highly decorated quarterback in the history of pro football. But last year, Brady leads the league attempts 719, number 1. Passing yards 5316, number 1. Average yards per game passing 312.7, number 1. 43 touchdown passes, number 1. He had 12 interceptions and a 102.1 rating. Aaron Rodgers finished 12th in passing yards. He had 531 attempts, almost 200 less than Brady, okay? He had 41-15 passing yards, 1,200 yards less than Brady. 37 touchdown passes, 6 less than Brady. Only 4 INTs, a 111.9 QB rating. Aaron Rodgers wins the MVP. How's that possible, okay? I look at what the so-called two leading candidates are right now, Mahomes and Hurts. Mahomes is 511 passing attempts, 123 more than Hurts right now. Completion percentage, Mahomes 68.8, Hurts 68%. I'm sorry, Mahomes 65.8, Hurts 68%. Mahomes passing yards, 4160, Hurts 3157. Touchdown passes, 33-22. Interceptions, Mahomes 11, Hurts 3. Ratings, Mahomes 103.4, 108.4. You have to include the also rushing yards and the rushing touchdowns, with which Hurts by far leads over Mahomes. As simple as it sounds, it's not that simple based on the MVP voting history, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Mahomes had 2 plays yesterday that people are still talking about. He rolls out, throws a bullet underhand touchdown. He does a complete spin around in the pocket, throws a dart over the middle, touchdown. All this wow factor stuff is good for conversation, good for highlights, but it's got to be more than that. If people disrespect Hurts this season, this should not be an MVP voting. And I know one of our distinguished colleagues is on that voting panel. And it should not even be a voting. It really shouldn't, because it's a popularity contest in a lot of cases.
Well, I here's what worries me, right? What worries me is a lot of the things you just laid out. I'm concerned that the lack of attempts, because the Chiefs throw it all the time.
Yes.
Hurts. Because the Eagles are getting up in games, which is a great thing from a team perspective, but it hurts him because they're not throwing and he's not playing in the fourth quarters. So there's not, I think that they, unfortunately, there's still a theory out there from some that if you run, it somehow shouldn't count as much, as a quarterback. Like I think his lack of passing numbers in terms of accumulation stats, like passing yards and passing touchdowns, may be held against them when they're not looking at the rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. And I think all those things could factor in. If they do, shame on every single person who's voting, because you're not really paying attention to what's happening with your eyeballs.
It's the eye test. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I mean, Rob, it's the eye test. What do you see? Look at both quarterbacks. What do you see?
yes, you see Mahomes making great plays, but you see Hurts making greater plays. I mean, you can't deny what this kid has done, what he's put together over the past 13 games.
No.
He hasn't lost a game for us.
No.
The dimes he's been dropping as far as pass, his accuracy. I mean, there's 2 touchdowns yesterday. Should have been touchdowns, but they weren't. But the passes that he threw, they just dropped in guys' hands. And I mean, if Smitty just drug his feet.
Right.
Just drag your feet, bro.
Yeah, you got at least another one there. Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, that's how good he's putting these passes.
Well, how about the one he throws down the sideline to Miles Sanders? We never got a really good replay, and I got to check the all 22 on that one. But that looked like a ball that maybe could have been caught too, and it was a great throw.
Absolutely.
So he had a couple of those yesterday.
I think he stayed in bounds, man.
And Barrett, everything you say is true, but history shows it's not that simple. It's like, what are you people looking at? What are you people looking at?
I think people with agendas will look at, for example, I'm not taking anything away from Justin Herbert. I actually really like Justin Herbert, right? He's had a short deck to deal with the whole year with injuries. But they'll just say, look at the passing yards. Like I've seen people put these little lists out, and it's not just about the passing yards.
No.
You either have an agenda if you're just looking at passing yards, or you're lazy and you don't really do your homework. It's one or the other.
If you have an agenda,
I've seen a lot of people.
If you have an agenda, you shouldn't be on the voting committee.
You're
Plain
right.
and simple. Plain and simple.
Yep.
If you can't be unbiased in your approach to this, then you should step aside and let somebody who can come in and be just overly objective have your voting right.
Yeah, I mean, just
unbiased about what? I mean, I don't understand what
you're biased towards a guy who isn't solely dependent on his arm,
exactly,
with his legs as well. Like for example, Hurts is 10th in I'm just going by passing yards. Okay.
Yes.
He's 10th in the league. So ahead of it. Now, if you look at the attempts, okay. So Jalen Hurts has 388 attempts. You go like the guys ahead of him. Trevor Lawrence is ahead of him. He's got 458. Jared Goff is ahead of him, 444. Kirk Cousins, 490. Geno Smith, 428. Josh Allen, 470. Brady's got 579.
Yes.
Herbert's got 561.
Yes.
Like you're passing that many times, you should have a lot more yards.
Exactly.
Than he has.
Exactly.
But he doesn't need to with the way this offense is.
No.
Like Tampa stinks. Can we just say it? Tampa stinks, and they have no running game. Therefore, a 45-year-old is attempting 54 passes yesterday.
Absolutely.
But some people will look at that and say, look at all the yards Brady has.
Exactly. That's my
don't know
point.
what the hell you're looking at. That's what you're saying.
That's the eyeball test. And when you look at the direction the NFL is going, if you're going to have that type of attitude, then you're a dinosaur, because the league is going in a different direction than the Joe Montana-esque type of quarterback.
Yeah, and it's also people who crapped all over Hurts last year and don't want to give Hurts any love this year.
Right. Like
that's what I mean by agenda.
Absolutely.
And I don't even mean the black quarterback, because if you look at
I'm not saying race. I'm not saying.
I know. Race. I'm saying this though. Brian Leftwich, Charlie Batch, both of those guys are like Bambi. They couldn't run anywhere. You know what I'm saying? They were drop back quarterbacks.
Right.
Yeah.
The drop back quarterback has no room in this league right now, because of defenders have gotten a lot faster.
Yep.
They're a lot bigger. They're better athletes than they had before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't have that type of athlete sitting back there like a statue and really win games.
Yeah.
In all actuality.
If you look at it, and again, this is like there's white guys that are mobile. There are black guys who are stationary quarterbacks over the. This is not a race thing where I'm going.
Right.
But even now, like a guy like Burrow, you wouldn't say, oh, this guy's a runner. But you watch the way that dude can get out of a jam and still make a throw, right? And there's just you're right. I'm agreeing with your point, Barrett. Like you have to have pocket mobility now, because pass rush is just so ferocious now. Yep. It's crazy. You know,
pocket mobility, functional mobility, whatever you want to call it, you got to have it.
Yeah.
But I mean, Patrick Mahomes is a guy that's kind of the same way. He's not really a drop back quarterback, but he's not a running quarterback. What the hell is he? He's the new quarterback of the ages. Allen, the new type of quarterbacks can be athletes. They have to be athletes
to combat the speed that you have from defenders now. You can't just sit back there like and think you could pass from the pocket like that. Brady can do it because he's the GOAT.
Yeah. And he gets
But
the
other
ball
quarterbacks
after 2
can't do
seconds.
it.
He's seen everything. Yeah. Brady's just different. Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes uses his agility to buy more time to deliver, more so than run. He'll take off and run occasionally, but he uses his Houdini-like abilities to buy more time to throw.
Yeah.
You know, whereas other QBs like Josh Allen, he will run that football. Jalen Hurts, he will run that football. There's a difference. The last time a quarterback who got accolades for running the football was when Lamar Jackson won it, when he ran for 1,000 yards that one season.
Right.
You know, for whatever reason, when it should be included in the equation, a quarterback who has the ability to throw for X amount of yards as well as run for over 1,000 yards, it's a novelty instead of a given in a lot of cases.
You know what it is too, Derek? Usually someone who runs to that has that kind of accomplishments on the ground like Jalen has is usually limited with their arm. They do it because they have to, because they can't function any other way, right? That's
limited or has an offensive line that can't protect.
Oh, right. Or that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But we know that's not the case, man. Like I don't think, let me put it this way. He's at 686 right now in terms of rushing yards. I don't think he's getting over 1,000 yards. I don't care if he gets over 1,000.
Right.
But he won't get 4,000 yards passing.
Or it's exactly, you're reading my mind, man. That's what I was going to say, but who cares? Like,
exactly.
You know, they have the best balance of any team in football offensively.
Absolutely. And he protects the football.
Yeah.
And he has a high completion percentage.
Right, yeah.
High completion percentage. And yet, like I said, you know, it's a slam dunk. If I was voting, it's unanimous who I'm voting for as the MVP.
Yeah.
But Barrett mentioned the word dinosaur. Unfortunately, there are still a lot of dinosaurs on that voting committee.
Yeah.
And that weighs heavily because you have more. It's like ownership in the National Football League. You have more dinosaurs than you do new thinking ownership. You know, there's not many Mark Cuban minds in the NFL in terms of ownership.
Yeah, I agree.
You look at the owner, the age and how long they've been in the game. There's more Jerry Jones type owners in the NFL than there are Mark Cuban type minds in the NFL.
Yep.
The only new age owner I can think of is the owner for Jacksonville in a lot of ways, if you think about it. Outside of that,
you know, Jeffrey Lurie, even though he's not a young man, I think it's a very forward thing.
Okay. Out of 30, let's say out of 32 teams, less than 5%.
No, I get your point.
You know
100%.
49ers owner also. She's kind of the new.
Yeah. But I just even if you extract it from the Hurts debate, which I think he absolutely should be the MVP, but we'll see.
I was going to say that 2-0 said Hurts. I mean, Mahomes doesn't have an offensive line. What? He got one of the best centers in the league. One of the best tackles. Dak.
I wouldn't even acknowledge that. I mean, if they obviously hasn't watched Eagles football, then we're not even acknowledge it. Hurts doesn't have an offensive line. When it's been stated from the
no. He said that Mahomes doesn't.
Okay, my bad.
Mahomes has a really good offensive line.
Yeah. Now they've been nicked up, but he has a really good offensive line. My bad, Dak. I thought you said Eagles.
No. But I mean, I just again, props to Steichen, props to Sirianni because the game plans are good every week. They're not afraid. You know, they'll attack and they'll go at whatever your weakness is, but they can also exploit you any way they really want to exploit. And by the way, they've done this for now, 3-4 weeks without Dallas Goedert too.
That's the big thing right there.
It's getting close. It was nice early. Calcaterra gets a couple catches. Stoll got one later. You know, you're starting to see those guys, I think, just get a little bit more of a chemistry maybe with Jalen and get some touches, which is good. I think it's smart to try to get them going early too.
I think it's out of necessity. I think it's out of necessity because teams are allocating a lot of resources out there to those two receivers. You know, they're kind of trying to bracket them or have somebody over top of them, try to high-low them. So you gotta take advantage of the middle of that field, man. Take advantage of the hash marks. That's why you saw a lot of check downs, you know, with the running backs and slant plays to tight ends because you got to take advantage of the middle of the field. Defenders can't cover those guys.
Right.
You talk about props to Steichen and Sirianni. How about props to Jeff Stoutland?
Yes.
You know, as much as those two, props to Jeff Stoutland for what he's able to do with these guys week in and week out. And that's been his MO since he's been here. to coach up not just starting five, but versatile offensive linemen, a collection of versatile guys you can plug and play anywhere. You know, Jeff Stoutland, I'm surprised.
Stop, man.
Man,
Stop,
Stout is that dude.
Stop, man.
What are you talking about? Stop.
We need to make him the president.
Ooh,
That's how
Stoutland?
much I love him, yes.
Oh.
Not
we
just
need to make him the president.
Not just the professor of Stoutland University
No,
anymore.
not just the professor, not just the dean. We need to make him president.
I'll tell
president
you, man.
of president of the world.
Yeah. And you know, it was also nice yesterday when Johnson went down. Driscoll came in and had a sweet block on the Sanders touchdown run.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, he had a tough time the last time he was plugged in there. So maybe that's a good sign for him. Maybe they're starting to get there a little bit with that.
He's my presidential pick.
So much there. I mean, so much there from an offensive perspective and what they've been able to do so far, man. And certainly led by the quarterback, that's for sure. All right, we'll come back. We're going to do the defense because the defense is performing at essentially the same level the offense is at this point. And the pass rush is ferocious right now. So we'll dive into that also when it comes to the Eagles. A little later, we will get into week 14 in the NFL, some of the big stories coming out of there. We'll update you on the injuries for the Eagles too. I mean, there were some pretty serious ones, but we'll see. It's looking like maybe it's not quite as severe, and we'll give the special teams a little bit of love. We will do that also when we come back. Don't go anywhere. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Barrett, Derek, Rob. All right, let's talk about Pro Action Restoration. Yes, Pro Action Restoration. If you have a home, you have a business, all right, you experience the pain, inconvenience of water, fire, smoke, mold damage. They're the people that you get in contact with. Pro Action Restoration is on call 24 hours, 7 days a week. I've gone through it. It happened to me on a Saturday. You know, stuff happens on weekends or off hours. You're not really sure. Well, guess what? They're around 24/7. So I called them on a Saturday. They got right over to my parents' house. They straightened everything out. They got it cleaned up. They were professional. The price was reasonable. It was a relief, to say the least. They are licensed, bonded, fully insured. They've been serving the tri-state area for more than 2 decades. Pro Action will work in conjunction with your insurance company. So it could be any of these: water, fire, smoke damage, mold remediation, or something else. If you're not sure, just give them a call for a consultation. 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760, or online at proactionrestoration.com. That's proactionrestoration.com.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio. Destination Downingtown is rolling back prices for a December to remember. For a limited time, you can own, not lease, brand new 2023 Jeep Wranglers for only $30,995 or $339 per month. New Ram starting at only $30,995 or new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs $189 per month. Zero down can deliver. Get the price you want, the selection you need, and the VIP treatment you deserve. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Big Finish Sales Event.
Did you know taxes could be your biggest expense during retirement? Are most of your assets in tax-deferred accounts like IRAs and 401ks? Taxes are historically low today, but we're facing significant headwinds in the future. Do you have a plan? The Thrive Financial team has more than 100 years of experience helping people across the Delaware Valley with forward-looking tax planning. Learn how to shift your money from forever tax to no or low tax accounts. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
Yeah. Love the new tune. So this is sticking then, right? We're good? This is what we roll into the new year with?
Da-da-da.
You muted, D-Gun?
Shout out to my guy, Elvin Shabazian, who finally came through. I put the guilt trip on him, and he finally came through last week. He sent me like 4 or 5 different ones, and I said, no. And he goes, I got one more for you I'm working on right now. I said, that's it.
You got it.
Send it.
You know it when you know it, right? Yep.
Oh, man. Yeah, man. You know.
That's pretty good. That is pretty good. All right, so we're off and running with yet another win here. Amazing when you think about it. Hey, by the way, did you guys see that? We'll get into this probably a little bit more in the NFL segment, but Jalen Reagor guaranteed a win.
Yeah,
for the Vikings over the Lions.
He did that before the season. He did it against the Eagles.
If I'm Justin Jefferson, right, I'm going over and I'm saying, Jalen, do me a favor. Let the guys who actually play. We don't need you making predictions, with returning 1 or 2 punts per game.
He plays. He just doesn't do anything while he's playing.
That dude is brutal.
Your first round bust. Just wait your turn.
Just
be quiet. And wait your
be
turn.
Happy you're still collecting a check. Anyway, all right. So back to the Eagles defense here, guys. So 7 sacks yesterday, 32 in the last 7 games. 32 in the last 7 games, 49 on the season. They are in first place there with sacks. They only had 29 all of last year. They're 20 ahead of last year's pace through 13 games. I think it's attributable to a couple different things. One, you get Hassan Reddick, and he's already in double-digit sacks. Brandon Graham comes back. Josh Sweat is back. The line has become, and I think there's another thing that's really helped too. Joseph and Sue have allowed this to become a real rotation in the middle and kept these guys fresh. It's a nice combination of reasons why this team has been ferocious at getting after the quarterback.
Hassan Reddick, the first player since 1982 to have double-digit sacks for 3 consecutive teams in 6 consecutive years. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And there's still 4 games to go, so no telling how many he'll finish with. But you're right. When you take a Brandon Graham who's 34 and he's only playing 39% of the snaps, look how much fresher he looks when he comes into a game. No D lineman has to play more than 63% of the snaps for this defense. Look at how much fresher they are when it comes to the fourth quarter and when an offensive line is tired and you got the same 5 guys going tackle to tackle. And I saw something yesterday. I'm sitting there, wait a minute, where'd all these Jonathan Gannon blitzes come from?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? I mean, they're stunting, they're looping. I'm like, what in the world's going on here?
Yep.
So maybe it's turning the corner for Jonathan. I don't know. Maybe.
Oh.
Don't even try it. I know where you're going. No, I know where you're going.
You're starting to see the light with the GAN wagon.
Don't even try it.
I'm glad to see it's not just about style for you anymore. You're seeing the results, and it's about the substance.
Oh, so you're telling me that the GAN wagon that you are the president of is back out of the barn?
It's been out. It was out last week.
No.
Yes, it was.
You didn't tell me that last. You told me 2 weeks ago.
No.
It was just 2 weeks ago when you said, I got to put the GAN wagon in the barn for a while.
No, we got it tuned up. It was.
Oh, you got tuned up.
Yes, it got tuned up.
Okay,
yes.
tune up. All right,
and it's driving smooth, man. It is smooth sailing down the highway right now on the GAN wagon. It's nice, but there's still time. Look, Derek, I am not a hater. You can come on in.
I'm not a hater.
Barrett and I have room for you, man.
You never.
We
heard
got
me
snacks.
Say, you never.
Got all
heard
kinds
me say,
of stuff going on.
You cannot associate the word hater to my name. I said wait and see. I'm not a hater. Nope. Nope. I gave this team props. Let's go back, find the clip last week, as I've done every week. I said it when Barrett was on the show. I said, you cannot argue with the results. They're number 1 or number 2 or number 3 across the board in every key statistical category it is. I just said it's not my preference when they do certain things in the defense. That's all I said. I didn't say I was a hater.
All right.
I gave him the props for
what
the
do you
results.
think, Barrett? I don't know, man. He's starting to come around a little.
You and Barrett can twist it all day.
He won't go all in, though.
You go twist it.
He's not allowed. I took his
Good.
membership. It's gone.
Good.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Good.
Even Seth said, bro, I don't like his style. Because they actually, before we started the show, they asked, hey man, how you gonna feel when Gannon, gets another job? Next year he's with another team. He still said good. I'm like, what do you mean good? Oh, I mean, I'm gonna say good, but I mean, I just don't care for his style. The results are there, the record is there.
I'm glad you said that.
But it's still,
it's amazing. Still, I still see
it's an acquired taste. I can't stomach.
Hey, Barrett, I'm glad you said that because right before we went on our post-game show yesterday, I looked up and I said, okay, are you going to be negative about the Eagles defense now? D-Gun, I give up. I ain't going to say nothing. I said, okay, I'm going to hold you to your word. And he was pretty positive yesterday. He didn't bring up negativity. I said, okay, you can't say anything else about what they did, what they've done did in the last several weeks. He goes, D-Gun, what am I going to say? I said, well, you'll find something. So I keep egging him on. I take pride in egging him on any chance I get.
Well, I mean, I just think it really, if you look at all phases, they get after the quarterback. They're stuffing the run now.
Absolutely.
They're excellent against the pass. They take the ball away. They get sacks. They're number 1 in takeaways. They're first in QB rating allowed. They're first against the pass in general. They're 7th overall in scoring, 18th against the run, but that's dropping really quickly the way it's gone lately. 24 takeaways, 15 interceptions, 9 fumbles. That's first. Potentially 4 guys in double-digit sacks. This is like dream stuff. It really is.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
I agree.
Ride, man.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, that's all I'm saying.
Take it all in. Because what we're seeing right now, man,
you might not see again.
You might not.
You're not. You're not. I don't think you can see it again. Honestly,
it's the perfect storm.
And I understand that defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators get paid millions of dollars to stop gimmicks, but this is not a gimmick. This is not something that they're manufacturing. This is just a consistent guy having consistent targets to make consistent plays, and that's defensively and offensively. Especially offensively. Hurts has mastered the offense. He's getting to a point now where he's dropping dimes. He's accurate. I mean, every question that we had in the spring and in the summer, he's erased. Remember, he didn't have a touch. He couldn't. Yeah. He couldn't have a touch. He couldn't throw the touch throws. He couldn't throw deep balls. I can remember. Wentz couldn't throw a check down.
Yeah.
Remember how hard he was?
For whatever reason, he just couldn't. Yeah.
There's no. I don't see a niche in his game. I don't see a kink in his armor. What you laughing at, D-Gun?
Kevin Savard, D-Gun, you had Seth wound up like a grandfather clock yesterday. Oh, you guys missed that. We went at it yesterday. Well, Seth, as you know, Barrett, loves to make comparisons from the time that he played to watching this current collection of Eagles linebackers and linebacking play in the National Football League. So he comes out and says, he comes out and says, why do we like to sit here in the media and make comparisons? I said, Mike Missanelli looked at me and kind of smirked, and I looked at Mike Missanelli. I said, I can't let this go. I said, since we kicked off the season, that's what you've done. No, it's not. Yes, you have. You've compared linebacking play from your era to this era. No, I didn't. No, I don't. I'm talking about technique. It's a comparison still from your era to this era. I said, all you've talked about is how when you played the game, this is how you were taught to read defenses. This is what you look for. As you sit and analyze a game, when we sit up in the green room, you're analyzing play about how linebackers don't do this, they don't do that, they're not taught this, that, and the other. That is a comparison. We went at it It was called our debate segment. We went at it for a full 5 minutes. Devin Caney's over here, Mike Missinelli's over here, and they're both like this. And let me and Seth go. I said, I'm not letting you off the hook that easy. No, I'm not, because it is. It's a comparison. And we, in the media in general, we compare teams, individuals, all the time.
Whoa, back in my day,
it's fun to do.
Yes,
okay.
Barrett does it all the time about when he played. Compare these lines. It's natural. It's what it is. It's what we do. Man, he was wound up like Kevin Savarsi did. D-Gun, you had him wound up. I would not let him off the hook, man.
You're doing your Woody Woodpecker routine. I like it.
Dude, I'm smirking like a Cheshire cat, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing you do is you as great as it's going, you also try to project, like, all right, whoever they may end up playing, like, can they stop those teams? And, I've seen Dallas. I've seen San Fran. I'm taking nothing away from those teams. They're really good teams, but like, I don't go into this saying, "Oh my God, how are the Eagles going to stop these offenses?" Like,
no,
I don't.
No.
Sorry,
no.
I just don't view. I don't view those teams in that way. That light that they're going to be that dominant or whatever. They're just
I can't
not.
wait till the playoffs get here.
I can't wait till the playoffs get here either.
I can't wait.
All these teams, like, I think that the conversation is stopped with the Eagles being, the Eagles not being the number one team in the NFC. And I think it's graduated to the Eagles are the number one team in the NFL.
Yes.
Even with the Chiefs, Buffalo, Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We're the best team. And the clickbait that ESPN is doing, it's ridiculous. I mean, how many categories are we top 5 in? And they're saying, and how many categories are the Cowboys top 5 in? And those are numbers. Those aren't just
that's not opinion. That's
opinionated. Those are numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Men lie. Numbers don't lie. So how is it?
But ESPN got what they wanted, though. They
Yeah.
got us talking about it. Not just us. I mean, people on the outside of their bubble looking in. They've got us talking about it, debating it, discussing it.
It has a lot to do with what ESPN thinks of our fan base also, because they know how passionate we are. They know how passionate we are versus other teams. And they're truly trying to play the Dallas game up, trying to generate revenue for just an all-time great classic 425 New Year's Eve game. It's going to be like being in a bowl game. That's what it's going to be like, bro. It's like the season. This will be the season wrapped up into one game on the 24th.
Yeah. No, it's going to be fun. I mean, this thing is going to be the hype around this game, especially considering where it falls, the day that it falls on, is going to be wild. And I look, it's going to be a game where they are playing on their third of back-to-back-to-back. It is at Dallas. Dallas has the revenge factor. They have their quarterback playing. There's a lot of things that set up in the Cowboys' favor. However, if the Eagles continue to be playing at this level in which they're playing, I'm sorry, man. They're going to be a really tough team, no matter who it is, no matter what the circumstances surrounding this thing, to beat. I'm trying to see if there's a line out for that game. I'm not seeing one. Let me see if all right, hold on. Let me see if there's Cowboys line, Eagles line. All right. So no. All right. I'll see if I can find one while we're having this discussion, but I don't see anything right now.
All you people out there who are last minute Christmas shoppers on Christmas Eve, get your shopping done early. Get in your houses by 4:25 Eastern time. Pull up a chair, sit a spell, and get your popcorn ready, because it's going to be a show.
Yeah, it is.
All you need is a little bit of eggnog and some rum. And sit back and watch the Christmas
Look, he can't even say it, and he's sober. Look, he can't.
Festivities.
Yes.
I can't say it. So how you say I didn't?
No, look.
I can't say it.
Don't have any eggnog on Christmas Eve, because you got pre and post game shows to do. You don't need to be more fired up than you normally are. Don't have any eggnog. If you do, just drink the eggnog without the rum, please.
Well, the interesting thing is there's only 3 games Christmas Day. That's Sunday.
That's going to be great also.
Yeah, I mean, the large majority of the games are on Saturday.
I wish we had the Monday. I wish we had the 1 o'clock game, man.
I know, man. Christmas Eve?
Christmas Eve.
Oh, Christmas Eve.
I know, man.
That would have been stupendous.
Yeah, there's a good amount of 1 o'clocks. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
There's 12.
8 1 o'clocks.
Oh, 8 1. Oh, I thought you meant
There's a 4:05 Commanders 49ers, then the Eagles at 4:25, and then the night game is the Raiders and the Steelers. That's how Christmas Eve shakes out. That's Saturday. Yeah, it's gonna be wild. But again, we kind of joke here, but props to Gannon, props to Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman went out in the offseason. They knew they needed a pass rusher. They signed Hassan Reddick. They knew they needed linebacker help. They got Kaiser White. They knew that they needed corner help. They went out and got James Bradbury. They needed a safety. They got C.J. Gardner-Johnson. In season, you had Jordan Davis go down. They get Sue and Linval Joseph. And tried with Quinn. It hasn't worked out so far. But this is a very proactive approach that they take to problem solving, not just hope it goes away or anything like you see from other teams.
This is the best problem solving that Howie Roseman has had in his tenure, period.
Yeah.
Bar none. And that includes 2017.
Yeah, that's the thing. And he almost hit, 1,000 in 2017 with his moves.
Yes.
And this may be more impressive. This run that he's on this year.
No,
this is definitely impressive.
How about Bradbury? I mean, just look at Bradbury yesterday. Goes back to his old team. Plays great. I swear to you, man, these guys haven't just been good or sort of contributors. They've been massive contributors. Every single one of them.
And then the way they play for each other, man.
Yeah.
Just like they were saying, Slay is this game means a lot to me because it means a lot to my brother. It means a lot to me because, they let my guy go and, unceremoniously just cut him because of money. I'm pissed off for him, so I'm gonna play my heart out for him. That's what you want, man. That's what, you needed the day off, man. We knew you needed the day off. We wanted to make sure that we didn't slack at all. We held you up, man.
I heard you guys crushed it. I heard.
We made it happen for you, man, because that's what brothers do, man. That's what brothers do.
Thank you. Great teammates. I appreciate that. No, but it's true, though. I mean, you're right. Barry, you pointed it out today when you were on the morning show on WIP. The quote from Trayvon Diggs, where he's worried about getting credit for an interception. Dude, what is your priority here? You barely survived the Texans, and you're worried about you and another one of your teammates came down with the interception, and you're the one who wants credit for it. Meanwhile, Slay is saying, we want to win this game for Bradbury, man. That's why we're going back, take care of business against New York. And then every week's been the revenge game, A.J. Brown, and, blah, blah, blah. But, that's what their mindset is. They're thinking about their teammates. They're thinking about the bigger picture, not thinking about themselves. That's rare, too. This is a unique group of guys they put together here.
Well, winning in the volume in which they're doing it enhances that camaraderie as well.
It does.
I mean, let's face it, when you win, it's Camelot. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
It's like the Three Musketeers, all for one and one for all, and that's the way it should be. There's no distractions. Everybody's focused. Everybody's on the same mission, and rightfully so. And they play like it. It's not about me. It's about we. They're not worried about these guys who are coming up on money. They ain't worried about money right now. A lot of them, this is the closest they possibly could get to getting a ring. Hassan Reddick, Kazir Whites, players like that. Hey, look, I got a chance to get a ring, and the money will take care of itself. See,
D-Gun. That couldn't have been more obvious than Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph signing with the Eagles. Suh didn't have to come back, and he wouldn't have come back.
Yeah.
Why he's coming back? He's ring chasing.
Yeah, he doesn't need the money.
Joseph doesn't need the money. He's been paid. He came back because he's ring chasing.
Yeah.
That's exactly why they're here now.
Well, Suh got one with Tampa, so
he's still ring chasing.
He's still ring chasing.
You want two.
Yeah. He said he wants one for each kid.
Right, yeah. So that makes it even better.
Yeah.
Makes it even better.
It's true, man. I mean, that's every player. Think about how many players that play this game that never, and I'm talking about not just the players who play the league average 3.5 years, but to put 10, 12 years into this game, never get close to touching a ring other than to look at somebody else's.
Right.
But to earn one of their own, the percentage is vastly greater than those who actually get to play for a ring. These guys, I mean, They want their money, but they want that hardware also to sit back and look at someday. You know, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
And when you win at the vault, I mean, this team's only lost one game. You know, dare somebody mention money in that locker room, man. People start looking at you sideways. Hold up, man. We got a bigger picture here. Your numbers will take care of themselves later.
Well, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this, D-Gun. This is the difference between the locker room down in Texas, in Dallas, Texas, and the locker room up here at the NovaCare Center in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
This is what Trayvon Diggs, he didn't necessarily say it. They don't have tape him saying it, but he tweeted this out. Credit me with the INT, please. I had it first, LOL, or we can split it 50-50. Are you kidding me? You just barely won that game. You should be happy that you won the game and didn't have a loss. And he's worried about a Hail Mary throw-up catch that he tried to wrestle it from the other player.
Right.
Who does that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, where is your mindset, man? And
That's like
about.
That's like Hassan Reddick saying, I beat my tackle and I drove it to Fletcher Cox. Fletch, I need half that sack because I'm the one that got loose and he came straight to you. They don't care.
Yeah.
They just want the win.
Yeah. That's all they care about.
Yeah, no, that's it. And you see this kind of stuff all over the league where there's guys who are looking out for themselves, not looking out for the team, and that's not the case with the Eagles. But all the more reason, guys, on both sides of the ball, you need to take advantage of it this year because the quarterback will get paid in the offseason. He is going to get paid, which is going to limit what you can do to an extent. I think Howie is a magician, so they're not going to be hit as hard as some people may think. However, this is, it's there for the taking right now. You don't have the luxury of doing some of the things you did this offseason. You're not going to have that luxury now, or next year, I should say.
Well, that just comes from guys going out there and do the due diligence to win now. Make this a destination point for free agents.
Yeah.
Bring people in because they want to play with Jalen Hurts. Remember we talked about how Hollywood Brown wanted to get out of out the Ravens organization because they felt the quarterback couldn't throw the ball efficiently enough to get the ball to him.
Yeah.
Now he's out of there.
Yeah.
Same exact thing. It can work in the opposite. Wide receivers are going to want to come and play here in Philly simply because Jalen Hurts can get the ball to him. And the defense, they're going to have a lot more one-on-one opportunities because of Jalen Hurts' running ability. And because of that, they're going to get one-on-one opportunities on the outside. That if you can beat a guy, he's going to get you the ball.
Yeah.
He's going to get you the ball.
And Barrett, the other thing, if you're a defensive player, man, you can just pin your ears back and tee off because a lot of times that the offense got you a lead and the other team's throwing and you know it. You know what I mean? Like it makes
exactly.
It's a much more pleasant experience when you know what's coming.
Rob. I mean, that's huge. That's huge.
Well, let's also give credit to the fact that when you have an offense that can score at will like that, that puts so much pressure on the opposition. It automatically much earlier than in games than they want to, forces that offense out of what their game structure is, which means they're going to have to put up the ball a lot more. If they're a balanced team predicated on a run to set up the pass, they got to throw the ball a lot more, which allows your defense to play a much looser brand of football. And you look at how they hit. Once the Eagles built that big lead, look at the hits they were putting on the Giants ball carriers yesterday.
Yeah. Yep.
It was like, and every hit was like pop, 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 pop. I mean, it was out. They were having fun because even if they made a mistake, they knew they had an offense was going to get it right back for them.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
You play less tense, less cautious when you're in a game. When you're in a game, nip and tuck, everything has to be a little bit finer tuned.
Yes.
So, man, when you got a team that can blow a team off the field early in the game, and you got to make them come out of their comfort zone, that plays right into the hands of a defense in terms of what they want to do and to be a little bit more creative and freer playing with their game scheme.
Dead on. Dead on.
You guys see the bench when you showed the Eagles bench and you showed the Giants bench.
Absolutely.
Number one, let me put this out there too. When you looked at the Eagles bench and you see AJ Brown yucking it up and having a great time on the sideline because they deserved to. They went out there and took care of business. They were out there making it happen. But you still see Jalen Hurts with the intensity of how the game started. Mm-hmm. He's still locked and loaded. He's still concentrating on the product he's about to put on the field. Not saying there's anything wrong with AJ and Smitty and those guys Quez and them talk. I mean, that's what the NFL is: excitement, having fun. You know what I'm saying? And it's fun. It's only fun when you're winning. When you're out there and you can do whatever you want to do to the defense, they can't do anything about it. But you still see your fearless leader. You still see your quarterback still dialed in. And then you look at the other sideline where the Giants are, and everybody's pissed off. Everybody look like they got the flu over there. They all look like that. Yeah. That's what it's all about, man. That's what the retrospect. I'm looking at, everybody having fun. I'm looking at my quarterback like, all right, I still got some more stuff I got to go out there.
You see him like that. Even at the end of the game when he was out and Minshew was in there, he's on the sideline. And again, I would have no problem if he was smiling and laughing. He deserves it, but he is still just like lasered. That dude is, man. Whoa, he is. There is one gear with that cat, and it's
either on or off.
That's it. There's nothing else.
On or off.
Yeah, and he's and they do take his lead in a lot of ways. That's for sure. By the way, appreciate everybody tuning in. Good number. We'll keep it rolling. But let's hit those likes for everybody who's taking the time to stream, to listen, to hang in the chat room. Let's get those likes up today. We could do a number. We go on an Eagles type run with the like button today. So let's dig into that. All right. So we'll come back. We'll give you a little update on some of the injuries, and there were some scary ones. Lane Johnson goes down. Reed Blankenship goes down, who's filling in for C.J. Gardner-Johnson right now. Kyron Johnson, who's been a really good special teamer for them. Aaron Sippos. So we'll dive into all that and the improvement on the special teams. Might mix in a couple other odds and ends here, but coming up at 2:00, we'll do our full-blown NFL talk as well. So you don't want to go anywhere. D-Gun, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis on this beautiful Monday. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, I'm going to tell you about Flynn Tree Services. Yes, Flynn Tree Services is an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree services company that will trim or remove any unwanted trees off of your property. They offer cost-effective solutions to any tree problem that you may face. So, do you have any type of issues in your yard or on your property? If you do, they're just a quick phone call away. They are experts at trimming all types of trees, and they serve southeastern Pennsylvania, South Jersey, and northern Delaware. Flint Tree Services specializes in tree removal, stump grinding, and tree pruning. Now, keep in mind, storm, hurricane season, it's getting colder, some nasty winds, etc. It's a good time to get your trees evaluated to make sure there aren't further problems down the line as the weather gets worse. All right, you go to their Facebook or Instagram page for a sampling of their work or more information. Give Flynn Tree Services a call at 610-850-2848. That's 610-850-2848 or online at flynntreeservices.com. That's flynntreeservices.com.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio. Destination Downingtown is rolling back prices for a December to remember. For a limited time, you can own, not lease, brand new 2023 Jeep Wranglers for only $30,995 or $339 per month. New Ram starting at only $30,995 or new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs $189 per month. Zero down can deliver. Get the price you want, the selection you need, and the VIP treatment you deserve. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Big Finish Sales Event.
Did you know taxes could be your biggest expense during retirement? Are most of your assets in tax-deferred accounts like IRAs and 401ks? Taxes are historically low today, but we're facing significant headwinds in the future. Do you have a plan? The Thrive Financial team has more than 100 years of experience helping people across the Delaware Valley with forward-looking tax planning. Learn how to shift your money from forever tax to no or low tax accounts. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
Oh yeah, we're back. Get used to that new song, baby. I'm liking it. Hope everybody's doing well out there. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network, hanging out with you on a Monday, a victory Monday after the Eagles take care of business in a game that wasn't nearly as close as the 48-22 final score. The Eagles, it could have put a 50 spot up, and had there not been some fluky stuff, they wouldn't even have had 22 with the Giants. They get a garbage touchdown at the end and a 2-point conversion. They end up cashing on that block punt as well. So anyway, Eagles win, but there were some injuries. There were some concerning things. Let's start with Lane Johnson. So he called it an abdomen afterwards. He said he wasn't sure exactly what it was. It could have been related to an oblique. Now, one of the things I thought he said that was very encouraging after the game was, if it was a close game, he probably would have stayed in anyway. So you hear that, and that's a good sign. And I totally get the organization erring on the side of caution. I do wonder, and I'll ask you guys this: the reports that have come out today are it isn't all that severe, and they're going to see how he does during the week. If there's ever a week to maybe be careful with him, is it this week against the Bears? Muted, Gunner.
You're not keeping Lane Johnson on the bench. Lane Johnson will go out there on a one leg or in a wheelchair if he had to.
I know he will, but should you just fight him against himself?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, but that's not who he is. He'll fight that tooth and nail. I like to be behind closed doors when him and Jeff, if him and Jeff Stoutland had that conversation. I would love to be behind closed doors.
See, that wouldn't be a conversation. It wouldn't be a conversation because if there's, his leg could be falling off and he's going to want to play.
Yeah.
But if Jeff thought that there was a possibility that it could ruin something or he'd be out longer, it would be a conversation. He'd just tell him no. And that's one of the few people that Lane would say, okay, all right, him and Sirianni would be like, all right, I'm not going to do it. See, the coaching staff, the relationship these guys have with the coaching staff is a lot better than what I've seen in a long time. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen a better group of guys that really are into being the best that they can be, man. And if they feel as though this shouldn't be something that they should, keep going, then they would definitely sit his butt down, and he would definitely let him do it too. Let him sit it down.
Like I worry. I hear abdomen, I'm thinking like oblique. I'm thinking sports hernia. Like I just get concerned. He said he felt like a pinch under his rib cage. Again, I don't know. He
I get them all the time, but those aren't muscles.
Hunger pains.
They're fat cells. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's White Castle bubbling in his gut.
Yeah, in some distress. But I get again. A lot of it's going to depend on how he's doing. I'm sure he's getting treatment today, and he'll get it tomorrow. I'm sure, but how he's doing Wednesday, Thursday.
Well, look at the opposition. Terrence Steele.
Bad
ACL. Injury. He's out. Done for the year.
They lost Anthony Brown, 2 weeks ago for the year? Yep. Defensive back.
Yep.
And then you got guys, look, Texas boy. What he said just don't make sense. Nothing he said on this whole chat has made sense.
He's a troll.
He can't believe anything that he's typed. His fingers just don't know what they're saying.
Yeah, he got attention. He got the attention.
Right. Yes. Yeah. No, but for sure. I just think they're you got to be careful there. So anyway, but the point is, not as bad as it maybe could have been. Then you go to Reed Blankenship, who, Mike Garafolo's reporting from the NFL Network that it's just a sprain. It's not a tear. They don't even think it's bad enough to put him on the IR. They're just going to kind of go week to week with this. And he had played very well, for CJ, and he's done a nice job. But that's enormous because when that it was like a non-contact, then he got rolled over, and it looked like, I'm thinking he's done for the year. I'm thinking it's an ACL, and it wasn't.
Yeah,
I'm so glad.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
glad.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Then you look at Rob's favorite player, Sipos. He left there in a walking boot. That's a little bit more serious.
That is.
But I
will give him love, Derek. He made a pretty athletic play.
Oh, he did. There's no question.
That bad boy up almost with one hand and tries to get the first down.
Almost picked up the first down.
Yeah.
And then the shot he took, that should have been unnecessary roughness.
He
was 2 yards out of bounds. He got two dudes, blasted him, man. And I do know, people are wondering what the Eagles are going to do about punting. I'll tell you this. They do have one or two punters in mind, but it will not be the former punter from Buffalo. I do know that. So anybody out there think they'll look at the punter.
Okay, so you're hearing, that's what you're hearing. Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to be the punter from Buffalo.
Matt Ariza is the so if you're not familiar with him,
they call him punt god.
Murder leg and all that other whatever
that
they
dude
call
can punt. Jeez.
So drafted out of San Diego State by the Bills. There was an alleged incident that went down when he was still in college with other teammates and a young lady. Anyway, the criminal charges were dropped, but there's still a civil suit pending for what it's worth. A gang rape allegation. So, I'm with you, Derek. Like, if you were asking me, do I think they'd go down that road? Probably not.
No.
Now, they have the culture to be able to handle it, I think, the distraction that it may potentially be. But,
I don't think they want the distraction.
Yeah, is it really worth it? No. Aren't you better off just trying? I mean, the thing about kickers and punters is, it's not like you're trying to grab a quarterback and get through the rest of the year. No, all due respect to a punter. I mean, please.
There's a lot of good kickers and punters sitting at home just waiting for a phone call. It's just that they haven't been given an opportunity. I mean, when you only have 32 jobs and you have an abundance of guys just wanting an opportunity, you sit and you wait. They'll get somebody temporarily this week to replace them. It may not be the Matt Ariza category, but it'll be somebody that they feel that can get the job done. They bring guys in, work them out. They'll get somebody to get the job done.
Yeah.
He won't be any worse. He won't be of the Ariza category, but he won't be any worse than Sipos.
And I haven't seen any. We haven't heard anything officially on this, by the way. But it just it seems like it may not be season ending for Sipos. So you might have him back at some point. Now the good news is Covey steps in. He's a holder. There weren't any issues on exchanges. And kickers can be finicky here.
The more you can do, man.
Right.
Yeah. More than you can do. More you can do. Exactly right, Barrett. But so no issues with Elliott. Elliott, to his credit, how many punts did he have? One? I just remember the one. Yeah, he ran in a little bit late. And good thing is this team doesn't punt a ton either.
Right.
There's another good thing. So that's kind of where things are with the injuries. If we hear anything, we'll pass it along. But quickly here, special teams, man. Special teams, like really, other than the punt block, which was kind of a mess, their return game has been better with Boston Scott as the kick returner. Covey's been decent as a punt returner, and their coverage teams have been way better. In props to Christian Ellis, and other guys as well. Oh, let me throw it. They did lose Kyron Johnson, who's a very good special teams player.
Yeah.
So that's a loss. Yeah, it's shoulder. But they've improved that area too, guys.
Yep.
2 in a row.
Yeah.
Ellis coming down, crushing people. They understand, man. This is an unforgiving league. What have you done for me lately? And guys like Ellis, linebacker comes in, been on the practice squad all year, comes in and makes a play. You look at you look at Sipas, whatever you want to call it. There's about 7 punters right now over there at the Naval Care Complex.
Absolutely.
No question. Yep.
Out there working out and trying to replace you. So Sipple's a little sick right now because if they come in and start pounding it like I've seen other punters do. Remember John Johnson? What's his name? What's it, Johnston?
Oh, Cameron Johnson.
Cameron Johnston.
Johnston. Yep.
He stuck around for years, man. They cut him like twice in the summertime. Towards to that third year, he started booming and became one of the best punters the Eagles have had in a long time.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can get Wally Pipp, man. That's happened so many times.
Yeah, and we've all agreed that Sippos leaves a lot to be desired in terms of his distance and
I wasn't gonna say that.
punt angles. Oh, well, do you agree or disagree?
That you speaking Bible right now, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised because the one thing the Eagles do, as do other teams, is teams are always bringing in kickers and punters just to look at them, especially if they have one in the fold who's been average to mediocre at best. They're always bringing in somebody to look, and I'm surprised in a lot of ways they haven't made a change before now, you know, because like I said, there's a whole lot of hungry kickers and punters sitting at home just waiting for an opportunity, and they haven't found one before, which surprises me. And now they're going to get one out of necessity now. Some interesting. I can't wait to see what this individual is, who it is. They decide on what he looks like in their first game. It might be even some veteran we're not even thinking about who's just been on the outside looking in.
Eagles signed Sean Landetta.
Oh, geez.
Well, or some team cut a kicker who was making the veteran minimum in favor of a rookie guy who could still have some ability, who could still help you. You know,
appreciate that, Dan Burrito. But yeah, you're right, man. You're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right because
Boston Scott.
Yeah, but you never know. You don't know what you don't know. You got to go out there, man. I didn't got a call. I had gotten released, and I got a call like, you know, a couple hours after I got released saying, hey, we require your services. I'm like, I'm a hired assassin now. Bring me in. I bet you ain't letting me go home. I bet you're going to sign before we leave this door. I mean, before I leave this door. I mean, I've seen it happen before, bro. Getting Wally Pipp, man. That's why I don't like to really let anybody do shows for me. I hate that.
I'm with you. I subscribe to that theory.
Why?
Bro,
Why?
you're the worst though, Rob.
I am the worst. I am.
You are the worst.
I am.
Rob will do any show anywhere. It could be the North Pole. And Rob will be up there holding on to the North Pole doing a show.
I'm like a weather guy. You know, they stick the weather person out during the hurricane, and they're like, the umbrella's the upside down, and he's like,
my guy D-Gun,
not that bad out here yet. Yeah.
D-Gun don't give a damn.
No,
D-Gun gonna
D-Gun's
take
like,
off.
nope.
He gonna take off when he
You know why? You know why?
Why?
Because I'm secure in who I am, number one. Number two, and if it wasn't meant to be yesterday, it will be there somewhere else tomorrow.
There you go,
bro.
That's healthy.
Wait a minute, take off with it. Well, hold up, time out. Let's wait a minute. You D-Gun will take off. Oh, I know what you're talking about when we were at NBC. Oh, heck yes, I earned that right. Oh,
we
yeah,
at NBC.
Yes,
and the
Better believe
schedule,
it.
the Eagles' schedule will come out, and you know the Eagles' schedule, they have a bye week. The Eagles' schedule will come out at 4:00, and there'd be an email and a text that goes to our boss saying, I need off on this and this date.
Yep.
And it always be the week of the bye week. And I come up and I'm thinking I'm gonna get them the next day. It's already the email is already there an hour after it came out.
It's brilliant. So he would take off the bye, and he would take off the week before the season started. It was
right.
It was brilliant. So the schedule would be out at 4:00. At 4:30, the email was sent to the boss.
And I knew he always had the first week in June always slotted away. He has to go do this kids camp.
No, first week of July.
Oh, first week of July. He always had this
first
kids
full
camp.
week in July after the 4th of July. It was when kids camp. My wife and I have been on staff for 20-something years at this kids camp in Carlisle, so I want to make sure nothing that messed that up. But on the average, for the last 10 years, I was there. I had a minimum 8 weeks off. When you consider vacation, comp days, 6 days, sick days you could use as vacation. I had an excess on an average of 8 weeks off, which also said you cannot carry any days over to the next year. You know, some companies will let you roll it over to the next year. Not this company. I'll make sure I'm getting my weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm there. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. I'll make sure I get my weeks.
Me like a fool. I didn't do it. A lot of times I go in, I got like 3 weeks of vacation time. I didn't even take it. Don't get paid extra for it either.
Now, how many of these shows have I missed? I've taken off like an hour. Last hour when I was at the Brian Dawkins Foundation. How many days have I missed on this show since April 18th?
I mean, you don't miss days on the show.
Not many.
Nah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, because we like this.
I'm trying to think. I'm
Yeah,
trying
we
to
enjoy
think,
ourselves here.
Right.
I'm honestly trying to think of when did I take off a full week? I have not taken. Hey, you know what? I got to catch up. I need to take off some time. You know, I'm think of. Hey,
I haven't taken off a full week, but I've taken a day or so because I'll be traveling. That's the only time I take a day when I'm traveling.
I get some days off. I love you guys, but I got to get away. Got to go.
Yeah, I love you guys like a play cousin also, but I need some days too, man.
I'm saying, man.
Let me ask you guys this. Coach of the year. We thought for a while Dable. We thought for a while Mike McDaniel. They maybe come back to earth a little bit. Robert Saleh was thrown out there for
Minnesota's
5 minutes.
coach.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell. Yeah.
Was brought up for some time.
Sean McDermott.
People giving Rivera a little bit of love for the resurgence in Washington. Sean McDermott given a little bit of love. Is it Nick Sirianni?
Oh, it's leaps and bounds now. Leaps and bounds.
12-1.
This is second year coach, 12-1.
Yep.
Second year coach. You got to give it to him. Because it was Dable when he was on a roll, but now what they're 2-3-1.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
So no, you can't give it to him now. O'Connell just lost. You can't give it to him. I would say, I mean, you can't really give it to Big Red. They just lost.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could make a case for Kyle Shanahan. He's overcome a lot of injuries, right? He's down to his third string quarterback, and they're now 9-4, right? I think you can make a case for him. I'm just telling you the other ones who could be in contention. I don't know that there's a lot of other clear-cut guys. I mean, you know, O'Connell's still 10-3 in his rookie year. That's pretty good in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Rivera, they're relatively hot, right?
Nobody's hotter than the Eagles. You are what your record says you are.
Exactly.
It's hard to argue it.
This dude, Jeff, please take some days off, D-Gun. All right, yeah, I got you, Jeff. No problem, bro. Ain't no problem, bro. I acknowledge you. I got you. Man, people need to move on, man.
Yes. I love Kelsavari said D-Gun got promoted to Trish's office.
That's right. You got
a promotion, bro. Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
He don't know. He's not allowed in there unless he's putting something together.
Hey, that's true. You said that jokingly, but you ain't lying, bro.
All right, I'll give you guys. You guys will appreciate this. I'm at work yesterday. I get a text from my wife. So I got the tree. All right, real quick.
You got the tree.
Okay, so let me give you the tree story. So Saturday, I had to hustle back from Ocean because I had my basketball team had a game at 10:30, and the squad's starting to play a little bit better. We're getting there. Okay.
So you like Villanova starting to play better.
We're getting there. Okay. So we win. Right. We win. I hustle there. I come home, shower, boo, go to the game. Hustle from the game. And I am on it. I'm on the air at 3 on Saturday. So I get home from my game at like 1-ish, around there. And I generally leave the house at 2 if I'm on at 3. So I grab my son who's home from college. I'm like, let's go. We're getting the tree. All right, boom. Go to all these places. I don't know if you guys have seen this. The tree prices are so jacked up.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Yes.
I go to this place that I, have gone to over the years. You're talking like $130 for a tree that looked like a Charlie Brown tree.
Yes.
What? So
yes.
I say to the guy, I'm like, dude, no disrespect. Is this right? Is this price right for this tree? And the guy's like, he gave me some, like, I don't know what he said. I couldn't even understand it. He was like, it's New York, yes, whatever. I'm like, all right, dude. So I'm like, I told Bob, I'm like, Bobby, let's go. We're not even dealing with this. We go to this other place. Same thing, crap, garbage. So finally, I'm running around like a nut. I finally find a place that's somewhat reasonable. I got a nice tree. I'll take a picture. I'll show you guys, but during the next break. Hustle back. I got to run to work. So anyway, we like to let the tree sit for a day, so it can just kind of spread out, and then, decorate it the next day. But I had to go to work yesterday, so my wife's like, all right, I'll just handle it while whatever. My wife and daughter do it. Long story long, as Barrett would say. So she gets one of the bins out of the shed, okay, and she starts taking out decorations. She's trimming the tree, blah blah blah. all of a sudden she sees something moving in the bin.
What?
There's a mouse in the bin. So I get a text. There's a mouse in the bin. What like help? I'm like, help. I'm nowhere near the house. I'm on the air. It's like I'm in the middle of a commercial break. I'm like, what do you want me to do? I said, get the bin outside so that little bleep doesn't get loose in the house, man. So she gets out, she takes it out to the deck, I guess, or whatever. And I said, angle it so the thing can escape and get out of there. She's like, I was touching stuff and it was wet. He probably peed on it. That's all I hear, man. So I get home last night. It's like 8:30. I don't know what time it was. So I'm like, she's like traumatized.
It's your fault too.
She scared the dog because she screamed when she saw the mouse. So the dog's scared. I'm like, what the hell, man?
Hey, you can borrow my dog PJ because number one, PJ was sniffed the mouse out. Number two, that mouse ain't got a prayer against PJ. That mouse would disappear real quick.
So I haven't even dealt with it. There's a bin on my deck right now that's like angled, this way. And I got to go see if the thing's still in there or it's dead or what. So anyway, that's my fun day. I don't even know why did I even start that story?
Hey, Crisco Ducks at Christmas Vacation 2.
Yes, I am Clark Griswold, man. I am. I
hate to say this, but like once every 4 or 5 years, because we have so many fields and stuff around there, you got hawks flying everywhere. And then when it gets cold, what do mice do? They look for warm places. So we'll get one in the garage, and I got people in my house that leave doors open. One might get in the house and get in the pantry. I got this little stack, those little wooden traps, with the spring on them.
Yeah.
I hate to say
or
this,
you
man.
do the glue ones, which are kind of.
No, I don't do those. I don't do because I don't want to see it. I'd hate to go in and grab them. That's cruel. The ones I have, dead, gone, done.
Well, anytime you do, like I'm surprised. Like you were doing construction in the summer. That'll draw.
Oh my goodness, yes. But see, I think the reason they didn't come in because you got 3 dogs here and they smell them. They ain't coming in here,
Right. Yeah.
So,
that means a lot, man. But like sometimes in my basement, you can't just keep them. We live right next to a field.
Yep.
And he's out there, cold and everything. They like, shit, I'm going in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it just comes with the territory, man. It comes with territory.
No, it does. It does. That's for sure.
All right, get you a dog that's a serial killer like I got.
I know my dog is scared. Like I took her to get groomed Friday morning, and she was scared of the blow dryer. And they had to let her air dry. I got there. The woman's like, she's still a little wet. I'm sorry. She's afraid of the dryer. I'm like, hey. I just looked at the dog. I'm like, Bailey, really? Like, really? And she's looking at me like, I'm like, let's go.
Hey, dude, my daughter has a 75-pound dog, the friendliest dog you ever wanted to meet, right?
Yeah.
So we got these 2 huge 8-foot inflatables on our patio deck, right? Because Cruz wants them on the patio deck. So when you inflate them and they go up, the dog will not go out the door. The dog will sit at the door and look at it like, what's this? Well, you got to push the dog out the door. And then when she gets near one of the inflatables, she curls up. And when you shove her, she takes off like a jackrabbit and jumps off the back step.
Yeah. I totally believe it. I totally believe that.
You serious?
Unbelievable.
Bro, I got a dog, man. He's not scared of anything. But I call him Joe Rockhead because he about as smart as a box of rocks, bro. This dog, man, oh my goodness. Like, dude, like real talk, I don't know how he did it, but he killed a deer. How the hell does he kill a deer?
A deer?
Yeah.
Full grown or a baby?
Full grown deer.
Killed doe?
Yeah, found him
killed
in the yard.
Killed a
doe? Full grown.
Okay.
In your yard?
Yes. We had to have people come out and move the deer.
Oh my God.
I was going to ask you, how'd you get rid of it? Because I'm not touching
the people had to come out and get it. It was in my yard. People had to come get it.
Who'd you call it? Fish and Game Department?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So they came and got the deer, but like this dog, we used to have not, I think they're not gophers, but what are those?
Groundhogs.
Groundhogs. Yeah, groundhogs. We had a family of groundhogs, and slowly but surely, as he got older, the groundhogs started missing, and it got to a point. It was like there was literally like 6 groundhogs living in because they come over. They used to eat my tomatoes and stuff.
Okay.
After he got old enough, No more groundhogs, no more anything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the protector, man.
We only have squirrels in our yard.
Yeah, I hear you. I might have to borrow them. Rent them out. Hey, I wanted to give Joel Embiid at least a little bit of love here. 53 last night. He dropped the horn. Yeah, Sixers win 131-113 over Charlotte. Harden had a nice game too. 19, 16, and 9. They played well last night. I got to tell you, Friday night was just a disgrace. I know they won in overtime, but that fourth quarter collapse, they had no business winning that game. They didn't deserve to win that game. And I'm usually a win is a win is a win guy, but I am not in that case. That was terrible.
Anthony Davis makes that second free throw, game's over.
Yeah, the kid Reeves makes a free throw and it's over.
And
Either
it's
one
over.
of them.
Game's over. The last 2 minutes of that game, I'm sitting there going, I don't believe this.
It was like literally crap. It was
they couldn't inbound.
No timeouts left.
No timeouts left. Couldn't pass the ball. Couldn't even get a shot off in a lot of cases.
Yeah, it's the kind of law. I know it was a win. I shouldn't say a loss. It's the kind of game that makes you doubt everything about this team, as if you weren't already doubting them. But it just drives that point home even further for you with that kind of game. It was awful. And again, props last night. Embiid was unstoppable, and he knows that Charlotte doesn't have a big that can even touch him, and he dominated. And good for him. But that was awful.
Well, after a game like that with Embiid, then you wonder how many games off does he need now to recoup from that game?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, is it a knee? It's something with him. He's not going to consistently play 15, 20 games for you. He give you 5 or 6, game off. 6 or 7, game off. I mean, I love watching him play, but it's like I sit there going, okay, he just like you just said, phenomenal game last night. When's his next day off?
Yeah.
When's the next? Oh, correction. When's the next scheduled loss according to the coach? When's the next scheduled loss?
All right. Anyway, so I give him a little love. So, all right, we come back. NFL talk, guys. We will dip into a bunch of things, including 49ers hammering the Bucks. Brock Purdy, the way that he's playing, Deebo Samuel's injury, the Cowboys, the Vikings, the Bengals, the Chargers last night over the Dolphins. We'll look at the playoff picture for the AFC and the NFC. Big injury to the Cowboys along their offensive line, couple other injuries throughout the NFL, which we will we'll dive into as well. So don't go anywhere. We keep it rolling here. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network, Derek Barrett. I am Rob. All right, I want to tell you about Razor Technology. Yes, Razor Technology's comprehensive managed service provider solution delivers constant monitoring, on-demand assistance, and rapid issue resolution. Through data-vetted and insight-driven implementation, we strengthen our existing IT resources with both human power and expertise that reduces security risks and downtime while enhancing organizational efficiency and productivity. They are a strategic resource for adaptive and fast-growing companies that need help selecting, implementing, and managing their IT services. Razor Technology's goal is always bigger than one project, one problem, or one upgrade. It's improving overall functioning of our partners and helping them achieve their business objectives through an ongoing synergistic relationship. Give your IT team the freedom to refocus by augmenting their reach with Razor Technology. Contact Razor Tech today and learn how our managed services can protect and enhance your business by calling 866-797-3282, 866-797-3282, or visit them online at razor-tech.com. That's razor-tech.com.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio. Destination Downingtown is rolling back prices for a December to remember. For a limited time, you can own, not lease, brand new 2023 Jeep Wranglers for only $30,995 or $339 per month. New Ram starting at only $30,995 or new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs $189 per month. Zero down can deliver. Get the price you want, the selection you need, and the VIP treatment you deserve. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Big Finish Sales Event.
Did you know taxes could be your biggest expense during retirement? Are most of your assets in tax-deferred accounts like IRAs and 401ks? Taxes are historically low today, but we're facing significant headwinds in the future. Do you have a plan? The Thrive Financial team has more than 100 years of experience helping people across the Delaware Valley with forward-looking tax planning. Learn how to shift your money from forever tax to no or low tax accounts. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Come on, Rob. Get on board, baby. Get on board.
I'm on. I'm in, man. Let's go.
D-Gun Soul Train rolling.
I would be honest. I like it, man.
Yeah, D-Gun Soul Train rolling, baby.
Good
Get on
work.
board.
Good work.
Woo.
Let's give you guys props again. What's your
Elvin Shabazian, man. He's an incredible music producer, talented, won all kind of awards producing.
Okay.
Yeah, great. He's like a son to my wife and I. We've known him since he was 5 years old. Great kid.
Love it.
Young man now. He's in his 30s now, so I can't call him kid anymore.
Very cool. Very cool.
He chooses to be around you?
Yes. You know, unlike Barrett, let me tell you something real quick so you can put this. See, you can't get to me today. It's the Christmas holiday, Barrett. You can't get me to me, but, there's
less than 2 weeks, by the way.
There's a lot of young people that we've helped raise in our lifetime. And I'm so happy to see a lot of them doing so well in life. And they're still our kids in a lot of ways, and it will always be. And it's just nice to see them from the time that they're 5, 6, 7 years old, to see what they've blossomed into, whether they're doctors, police officers, music producers. So it's nice, man. Makes you feel good that you in some way were able to contribute in young people's lives, man, because we sit here and talk about this generation today, man. It's like there's a whole lot of craziness with this generation today that drives us nuts that we didn't do when we were coming up, but it's so nice to see there's a good collection of young people who also steered on the right course in life and have done well for themselves.
Yeah, I was surprised because Rob, man, they got some of these kids like traveled back to come to the house. Like they came back.
That's
like
right.
This kid from Poconos came back to visit D-Gun.
That's right. See, D-Gun's a nice guy. I'm just not nice to you guys.
I said,
D-Gun's nice.
I said, you came back to see Trish and them, right? No, Mr. Derek is great. I'm like,
that's right.
I said,
that's right. That's right. Say it again. Say it again, B. Brooks.
I said, who? Mr. Derek. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that your coworker? I'm like, yeah.
That's right. You better believe it.
It hurts, but you have to say it. Yeah. Good work out of you.
It pains him to say that, Rob.
I know.
It hurts him.
It was like he was going through like a little convulsion.
Rob, it hit him in the gut where that White Castle's sitting right now.
It was like all right. All right, so a couple things. Let's start with the 49ers yesterday. They win 35-7 over the Bucks. Let me start with this. Can we the Bucks stink, right? I mean, are we agreed they stink? They stink. They're going to win the division. They're going to be in the playoffs. Yes, agreed.
I don't know. Did you see the stat that if Carolina wins out, they're in?
Yeah,
Did you see that?
Carolina's not dead, and Atlanta's not dead either. But I get it. I know
Yeah,
it's
they are.
Brady. Nobody wants to see him in the first round. I know they're
Right,
bad.
right.
They're bad, and we keep waiting. Oh, this is going to be the week. It's not happening.
Right.
The guy's
right.
throwing 80 times. He's 45 years old. They have no run game. They don't want to have a run game. They're not that good defensively either. They're overrated defensively. They're just not that good. All right, I'm sorry. I'm done with my Buccaneers rant. All right, but the 49ers are real. And I give props to Brock Purdy, the way that he played yesterday. He stood there tall a couple times, got smacked in the mouth, and it didn't matter. He was not afraid.
Dude, he made a couple throws with pressure in his face. I'm like, and this was the last player taken in the draft?
Right.
We look at all these talent evaluators on every team and the money spent on scouting departments, regional scouting departments, national scouting departments. And let's face it, there are a lot of players that we've talked about and we've seen in our career that were high draft picks that were bust. And some of the best players in the history of the game were 4th, 5th, 6th round picks. Jason Kelsey, i.e., to name one. But this dude was the last player picked in the draft. And I'm thinking, okay, 49ers are done. The defense can only carry you so far. This dude he's had 2 decent tests because I'm going to tell you something. Todd Bowles' defense brought it at him almost like every passing down yesterday.
Yes.
And that dude stood tall and attacking and made some serious throws. And I'm like, man, hold up. Who is this? Who's Brock? Because Brock was pretty good yesterday. He was pretty good.
So early, there's like a blown assignment, and he also has to see it a little bit in his periphery, right? So he has a guy coming from his right, and he gets his clock cleaned. It ended up being a penalty on the it was a personal foul for unnecessary roughness. I didn't think it was, but whatever. But I'm thinking after that, he's going to be a little gun shy. This is pretty early in the game, and he wasn't. He stood in there, man, and he played really well. He didn't try to force things. He just played smart, and it looks like McCaffrey's really kind of hitting his his sweet spot right now too, both running it and catching
So
the
how
ball.
do you think they do with Debo Sanders being out though?
That's going to be hard. See, here's the problem with that, Barrett. The trickle-down effect means McCaffrey gets more carries, and there's more of a likelihood that he gets hurt or wears down. So that's where you're really going to see it. Not only missing the talent of Debo because he's unbelievably talented, but it's those areas. But their defense is damn good, as we know, as we've noted a lot, and they're playing great football at the right time. They're hot. They went after the win yesterday. They now won 6 in a row, and they're 9. If they started the season off 3-4, they're 9-4 right now.
They're the only team in the league also that has not given up 200 points through 13 games this year.
Yeah, $197.
Yeah, 197. Yeah, the only team that has not. They're down to a 3rd string quarterback. They survived the test against Miami, which was a good test for a young quarterback. They come back. This young kid handles the storm of a Todd Bowles pressured defense. And on top of that, the second series of the game, he suffered some kind of oblique injury or something and played through it.
Yeah.
He had an MRI today.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, I know Barrett and I have our differences of opinion about their defense. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. I just want to see it. We're going to talk about it periodically from now until the playoffs come. I just want to see it go down.
They're good.
I think that'll be a good matchup. They're really good.
They're good. And I think, honestly, though, all joking aside, we keep waiting for Tampa. There's no wait. This is what they are. They keep trying to tell you every week who they are, and this is who they are.
Right.
So, yeah, and the Debo thing looked way worse. I mean, so it was an inside and then, he doesn't love, running the ball anyway at this point, but he takes an inside carry and just gets his leg twisted up.
Did you see his foot get bent?
Yeah, I'm thinking he's done, man.
Broken ankle.
Yeah. The reports are that it's just it's a high ankle, which is better than what it could have been. And it's about a 4 to 6 week injury, which gets you right around the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, they win. They keep rolling. Bucks lose, but they're still in first place, even though they're under 500. The Cowboys absolutely should have lost this game. So Dak throws a late pick with a bit like a 4-ish left, 4 and change. I don't know how much was left exactly. And the Texans return it to the 4-yard line at that point. And I think, what were they up? They were up 3. The Texans.
They were plus 3. Yep.
They punch it in. It's 2 possessions. It's over. Worst case, worst case, I'm kicking a field goal.
Yes.
As to make them score a touchdown. And Lovey decides not only to go for it on fourth, but a Jeff Driscoll keeper.
I don't know if that was a keeper because you see him turn to his left, and I don't know if he was supposed to hand the ball off, but the running back went the other way.
Yeah.
Driscoll turns back. By the time he turns back, this white jersey's converging on him. So I don't know if it was a blown play or not.
Bad.
But I'm like, why would you not take the automatic 3?
I know.
And force them to, well, they eventually scored the touchdown, but still. Why would you not?
It was bad. It was just bad all around. There's a reason why they're a 1-win team.
Jeez.
You know, and they showed you why. And then Dallas goes 98 yards, and they end up, I think Elliott gets the touchdown, and they end up winning. But they played bad. You know, that was, everybody talk about the Eagles had a close game against the Texans. Like, it wasn't like this.
No.
You know, the Dallas should have lost that game anyway. So they win, here's the problem, right? So they win, they stay at 10-3. Eagles got to keep winning. Like, they cannot overlook the Bears this week, because you lose to the Bears if you overlook, and then you drop to the Cowboys. You got 3 losses too.
Yeah, and I don't know the tiebreaker scenario. You know,
the tiebreaker goes to Dallas. Actually,
are you serious?
Yep.
Yeah.
Why is that? Based
the
on
Eagles
what?
would have 2 division losses at that point, and
true.
3 conference losses.
Oh, true.
I'd have to look at what Dallas has. Wow. So Dallas in division is 3-1, and they're 7-3 in conference.
Okay. And what's the Eagles right now in conference?
Eagles are 3-1 division, 7-1 in conference.
7-1 in conference. Okay.
So, but yeah, that's so these games are big. Like, you can't take your foot off the pedal, man. You can't.
Yo, man, this dude Jeff something else. He said Bear keeps looking at the clock. Must have a DoorDash coming.
Oh, jeez.
What clock? What?
Come on, man.
I
wish I could DoorDash White Castles.
Amen.
But it's an hour up the road.
I'm sorry I said that. I really am. You know, I just want you to know something, Bear. I want to go on record. Every time you mention the word White Castle, man, I feel like throwing up. I really do. My gut starts bubbling and churning because White Castles. I'm still traumatized.
All you ate was one White Castle, man.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that was February 2018. It was the 17 season. So that was over 4 years ago. I'm still traumatized from that experience. And I didn't eat White Castle since I was a teenager, man. Like I said, we drive down from Milwaukee to Chicago. They didn't have White Castle in Milwaukee. We had to go to Chicago to get them. And, you know, it's funny because – huh?
How long a ride is that?
90 minute drive.
Yeah, because it was like a 2-hour ride from Green Bay.
Yeah, to where?
To Chicago.
No, it's 2 hours from Green Bay to Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 2 hours.
It's Milwaukee, like an hour and a half to Chicago.
Yeah, so it's like 3.5, 4 hours to get to Chicago.
Yep.
There you go.
So,
we have Griffin's asking. He says he lives in Cali. What's White Castle? It's a hamburger joint. Fair enough.
It's a slider joint.
I wouldn't call it hamburgers.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, we serve chicken and fish too.
Who's we? You a stockholder now?
I'm French.
And let me tell you something. And let me tell you something. That fish was like fish. Remember Miss Arthur Treacher's fish and chips? Rob, know what I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah.
Rob, do you ever eat Arthur Treacher's?
I remember. Yeah, when I was a kid. Yeah.
Okay, you remember when you bite the fish, the grease start running down your arm?
Yeah. I didn't want to have to go there. I was forced to go there. Let me put it to you that way. I mean, so yes,
that's nasty, man.
It is nasty.
Don't say that's nasty.
No, it was. All right, so the Vikings. This is the game we talked about a lot. Detroit was favored in the game, despite the fact that the Vikings had 10 wins, and Vegas was right on. Detroit ends up winning 34-23 over the Vikings. They've won 5 out of 6 now. And as much as we kind of joked about Dan Campbell and all the other stuff, he's got them playing well. They believe in him. The defense is better. And Jared Goff quietly having an excellent season for the Lions. He's been really good, man. He's had a nice bounce back.
There are a lot of teams praying Detroit does not slip in the back door of the playoffs right now.
Yep.
I don't think there's some teams that do not want to see Detroit the way they're playing right now slip in the back. And they got their number 1 pick finally playing the game. What's his name? Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams.
Created from St. Louis.
Yeah, he is.
Yep. Got a touchdown yesterday.
I don't like him already.
Well, I was saying, man, you're right. I was telling people when we played against them the first game of the year that they weren't going to be a slouch because I told their offensive line was good. They didn't have their guards though, but like their first Their two tackles
Yep.
are legitimate bookends, and their center's legitimate
Yes.
top center in the league. You know, he's one of the top centers in the league. So offensively, they can score. I just didn't like Ross being a defensive coordinator.
Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn. Sorry, Aaron Glenn being a defensive coordinator. I just didn't see him. I don't think he has that it factor in calling games. But anytime you get you know, a pass rushers like they have, their front four are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of shields you from a lot of everything else because those guys can generate heat on the quarterback.
Yeah, man.
And
Yeah.
if Jamison Williams can play, you couple him with Aiden Hutchinson.
Oh my goodness.
What a rookie class, you know, for
Well,
those
look at the
guys.
receiving core with him. I mean, the receiving core was getting it done without him.
St. Brown's a beast.
I mean, look at now they got him. This kid's first NFL catch is a touchdown. He was wide open.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was nobody within 15 yards of him, man.
That's speed, man.
That's that
Speed.
Ed Donatell zone defense. That's why I don't worry about the Vikings in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Can't stand Ed Donatell's defense.
But real, if I told you guys through 13
That's
games,
all personal there.
Yeah, it is.
Where
Jared
is it?
Goff, 3,300 yards, 22 touchdowns, 7 picks, and a basically a 98 passer rating and completing 65% of his passes. I think if you're a Detroit fan, you would take that in a second.
Absolutely.
That's a good starting quarterback in the league.
That's solid, man.
Absolutely.
He's
Yeah.
solid. Yeah. So Detroit again, dangerous. You're right. So you mentioned Derek, the playoff, the way this is looking. So it's tight here at the bottom of both of these conferences. So Detroit right now at 6-7. So you got the final team in right now are still the Giants at 7-5-1. Then it's Seattle at 7-6, and they've kind of come back to earth a little bit. But then it's Detroit 6-7.
Yeah.
They could very easily sneak into this thing, man, with the way that they're playing. This is
And
not
you-
over.
And you got a running back in Jamal Williams who leads the NFL with 14 rushing touchdowns.
Right.
I mean, so they can run the ball as well as throw the ball. Something's turned around for people laughed at Dan Campbell. So he's on the house. I tell you what, whatever he's selling, they're buying it right now.
Yeah.
Well,
No doubt.
we knew that they were going to be some ankle biters. We knew that he was going to go out there and play, man. It's just getting everything tied together. You know, they were just so bad for so long. It's hard to get that culture out of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's finally getting that culture
Right.
out. Because remember last year they had started, they had lost a lot of games by 4 to 7
Really
points or
close
less.
games. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now you look at the remainder of Detroit's schedule. Their last 4 games are the Jets, Carolina, Chicago, Green Bay. They could slip in the back door.
Yeah, that's not
because
brutal.
I think the Giants are good.
Right.
The Giants are not going to make it.
I think the Giants are in major trouble.
They're
Yeah, I do
cooked. They're
too.
done.
And Seattle's not playing as well either. right now.
No.
So yeah, they could get in. Yeah, they could
So-
definitely get in. Another team that's rolling right now, the Bengals. They win 23-10 over the Browns. They've won 5 straight. They're hitting stride at the right time. They're protecting Burrow better. He's got Chase back. You know, he's on fire right now. Burrow's in the MVP discussion now. He vaulted into it with the way he's going right now. So look out.
What is he looking at right now? 27 touchdowns, 9 picks. He's been sacked 35 times, but you look at his game log, the last few games. In his last 1, 2, 3, 4 games, he has 5, 7, 9 touchdown passes, 3 picks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this team is doing exactly what it did a year ago. They're getting hot at the right time. That's exactly what they're doing. And, you know, people keep talking about it's a 2-horse race between Buffalo and Kansas City to get to the Super Bowl. Do not count this Bengals team out yet.
Yeah, because they've done it.
They did it last year.
They did it last year, went 10-7.
And they did a good job on Nick Chubb yesterday.
Yes.
You know, and you know, Watson was better than the week before, but he wasn't great either. So yeah, man, they're a team to watch for sure. He was yesterday, I think he was 18 for 33, 239, and you know, whatever. And so they got Mixon back. He had 96 yards. He had a 40-yarder on the day. So that's a good sign for them with where they're headed. Chargers were impressive last night, guys. They did a really good job, I thought, defensively, especially considering how banged up they are against Tua and crew. And you know, maybe there's been a little bit of something figured out on Tua. I don't know. But the last 2 weeks, I know he's battling an ankle, but he hasn't looked the same the last 2 weeks.
They played great defense, man.
They did.
Santi Samuel, those guys, man, they just flat out covered the cheetah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
They
did.
covered them.
Cheetah got one on that fluky fumble pickup that, whatever that was. And then he got a deep one, but they really contained him, for most of the game.
Well, they kept, Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth kept talking the whole game about how generous the Chargers were against the run. I was like, I don't know what defense they were playing before, but I mean, they bowed up and they stuffed the holes. And then they brought up an interesting point. Miami's bread and butter passing in the passing game is Tua loves to hit his receivers in those seam routes. And there were 2 or 3 consecutive plays. He tried to go right down. I'm like, they're basically telling you it's just true. Their big plays are over the middle. And Asante Samuel batted away. It was 2 consecutive plays. Asante batted the ball away. He went right back over the middle. It's like, is their passing game two-dimensional? If you can't hit Tariq deep, they go over the middle all the time. And the Chargers found a way to finally stop it by putting Asante on the receiver coming over the middle. I was like, Miami's not going to go very far if they don't change their game plan. Now, Mike McDaniels, we've given him a lot of props for what he's done with that team, especially with the talent they've added. But you got to flip the script because now you're becoming predictable in terms of what your passing game looks like.
Well, this is where we find out a lot about coaches. Are you able to adjust to what they're doing now? McDaniel did a great job for a long time, but there are limitations with Tua. He doesn't have the cannon. It's got to be a quick strike things. And when you have those limitations, teams are going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And how do you counter it? But they're still in the playoff picture right now as well. So the way the AFC, let's run through both leagues now. So the AFC, Bills are your one with the bye, the 1 seed. They won yesterday. They have a bye. The Chargers are the 7 right now. If New England wins tonight, New England's the 7. Okay, they play the Cardinals. They're 1.5 point favorites on the road. But that 7 seed would get Kansas City. So it's either going to be New England as of right now or the Chargers, but it's either one of those two. And we'll see if things switch up. But Miami, the 6 seed against Baltimore. Cincinnati, the 5 seed against Tennessee. Tennessee's a mess. They got smoked by Jacksonville yesterday.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Oh, the Jets are on the outside looking in at 7-6, and so is New England right now going in tonight. Now White took some shots. Did you guys see the shot? He took?
Oh my goodness! Yes.
Oh,
Call the doctor.
Oh my God! Whoa, nasty. Really
man.
Really
Oh man.
bad.
Hope he didn't break. I haven't seen a report yet. Hope he didn't break a rib because he's helped turn that. He's helped turn the Jets around. What Zach Wilson could not do, he's been able to do with that Jets team.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, he took one. Oh.
It was interesting. Saleh was asked today if White can't go, do you go back to Zach Wilson? And he wouldn't commit to him.
Who would he go to? Flacco. Oh,
I'll tell you, they're not saying it, but they're saying it. They don't. Zach Wilson's got some problems there with that organization.
What is that? Well, now it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah, you're not lying. You're not lying, man. All right, so the NFC Eagles would be the 1 seed with the bye right now. Giants are still clinging to the 7 spot against the Vikings. Washington and San Francisco would be the 6 and 3 seeds matching up, and then Dallas 5 at Tampa 4. Seattle 7-6 on the outside looking in. Detroit 6 and 7 on the outside looking in. That's how the NFC shakes out. Yeah. I would say if I'm looking at, and we were just talking about this earlier, like candidates to keep your eye on here when it comes to the NFC. One of them absolutely is Detroit.
True.
The other one, Atlanta. I don't know, man. Like, can I really get behind Atlanta at 5 and 8?
No.
It's right. It's Seattle and Detroit. Do we buy into anybody else here?
No.
I don't. I mean, Green Bay. Are you totally writing them off?
No, they're done. They're done because Green Bay has to go to Miami. That's going to be their 9th loss of the season. They're done. Green Bay's done.
Yeah. Fair enough. So that's where it is. And again, the AFC teams on the outside looking in, as of right now, are the Jets at 7-6. New England, if they win tonight, they're 7-6 also, and they're in. And the Chargers take a step backwards, but the Chargers are in right now. They're the 7th seed.
Here's what's interesting. Seattle's schedule for the rest of the way. They have the 49ers on Thursday. Then they have the Chiefs, the Jets, and the Rams.
Ooh.
They're hey, now
trouble.
okay. Now, Detroit, what did I say Detroit was? Detroit still has
Detroit. You said Detroit's wasn't terrible. It definitely
No.
wasn't that as tough as Seattle's.
Detroit has the Jets, Panthers, Bears, Packers. They'll definitely beat the Bears and the Packers.
Yeah.
They play at Carolina, and Carolina's coming on.
Yeah, Carolina's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their defense is not bad, and Darnold has been okay. He's not turning the ball over, at least, for whatever that's worth.
I'll go so far as to say now the next game is against the Jets. If they beat the Jets, Detroit's getting in the playoffs.
Yes.
They're getting in the playoffs.
I buy that.
And they're playing at the Jets this week. If they win that game, they're getting in the playoffs, and it's goodbye Seattle.
Wow.
And I guarantee you, they won't say it. There's a whole lot of teams all of a sudden watching Detroit real close.
They are. They absolutely are. And then you know what? That win looks better and better for the Eagles.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
You know, and here's the other thing. Eagles are 5-1 against teams with winning records, and the average margin of victory is 20. So, you know, you have that, and you couple that with the Detroit win. If they keep playing better, that looks even better. So,
yes.
You know, we'll see. The notion that they just beaten up on nobodies is pretty false. Also, I've mentioned this key. The Cowboys lost Terrence Steele, who was one of their better offensive linemen. He tore his ACL. He's done. He's done for the year now.
Aren't they getting the rookie back soon? The first round pick?
Yeah, Tyler Smith.
Tyler.
Kid out of Tulsa, the Tulsa kid.
Yeah, the left tackle. That means old man Jason Peters may have to play a little bit more than he wanted to.
He's gotten a good amount of time anyway.
Yeah, he has.
You know,
they alternated in on need getting the young guy ready.
Yeah.
How'd you like to be 40 years old still playing in the league? And,
yeah, it is Tyler Smith.
Yeah. And get to play X amount of snaps. Okay, I'm done. Jeez.
Well, I mean, you're asking a lot of a guy in his 19th year.
Whew.
19th.
Wow.
For DG or for JP. Yeah.
Man, just sit back and wait till the Hall of Fame calls you, please. You served your purpose.
Well, look,
I know. I know.
Yeah, I know.
That money.
Yeah. It is still a little weird seeing him in that uniform too. There's no question about that. That's been the case. But yeah, I mean, look, again, this goes back to Dallas has lost 2 guys the last 2 weeks that are done for the year. You see what other teams are going through, like San Francisco. They're on their 3rd quarterback. They lose Debo. You know, and the Eagles have had a couple here and there, but most of them are survivable because they're likely going to be coming back. And correct me if I'm wrong. So Avante comes back yesterday.
Yep.
Gardner Johnson can come off this week, and then it's Goddard, right?
I thought Johnson was week 16.
Or is Goddard next?
Goddard's next week.
Goddard's next. I'm sorry. So it's Goddard, and then
I thought Goddard was this week.
Yeah, I think he is.
This week coming up. Yes, this week right here.
Yeah.
So that's big. That's big. But again, I like to see they got Calcaterra going a little bit early. They got him a couple touches, and Stoll had one. Stoll had a really nice block on that play where they just like pitched it to Miles.
Yeah.
Stoll was kind of the guy out in front, the lead, and he blew a guy up on that play.
Yes.
He's a good blocker.
Yes, he is. And you know, and the tight ends getting more love each week now. The backup tight ends getting more love each week in the passing game.
Yeah.
You know, which you know, enjoy it while you can, because Goddard's coming back, which means your looks will be even more limited than before.
Yes,
but
they will.
You know.
Aaron, so according to Tom Pelissaro of the NFL Network, Sippos is out indefinitely with a lower leg injury suffered on the play we all know about. Still undergoing tests. Philly will certainly need a punter. So that's where it's at. I'm sure, like you guys said earlier, I'm sure there's guys in there right now as we speak, working out for them. They were on speed dial yesterday, probably flying in from wherever they live in the country. All right, so we'll come back. We'll dig into a couple other things. We got some birthdays. We got some movies. We'll do some more Eagle stuff. And by the way, everybody in the chat section, you want to fire a question that you have for us, fire it our way now, and we'll answer those when we come back in the next segment. All right, we will do that when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Right back.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio. Destination Downingtown is rolling back prices for a December to remember. For a limited time, you can own, not lease, brand new 2023 Jeep Wranglers for only $30,995 or $339 per month. New Rams starting at only $30,995 or new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs $189 per month. Zero down can deliver. Get the price you want, the selection you need, and the VIP treatment you deserve. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Big Finish Sales Event.
Did you know taxes could be your biggest expense during retirement? Are most of your assets in tax-deferred accounts like IRAs and 401ks? Taxes are historically low today, but we're facing significant headwinds in the future. Do you have a plan? The Thrive Financial team has more than 100 years of experience helping people across the Delaware Valley with forward-looking tax planning. Learn how to shift your money from forever tax to no or low tax accounts. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for hanging out with us today. All right, so let's hit some of these questions. A Dog says, "What's your guys' work history together? I picked up on some of it since I started watching, but I live in Ohio where I don't get Philly news." All right, so Derek and I started working together in 1997 when Comcast Sportsnet, which is now NBC Sports Philadelphia, started up. We were the first regional sports network to go 24/7. Carried the Sixers, Flyers, Phillies, did all kinds of live programming. Unfortunately, they don't do a lot of live programming now, but there was a
station's dead.
Yeah, they did a ton then, and it was great. And Derek, did Eagles. He was an Eagles reporter. Prior to that, he was also on the news desk and did all kinds of different stuff. I was a producer who then started doing on-air stuff. So Derek and I go back to 97. Barrett and I had our own morning TV show there called Breakfast on Broad, which we were co-hosted along with Jillian Mealy and Sarah Baker. But that was on for 2 years. We did everything Philadelphia sports and entertainment. So Barrett and I go back to like 2014 or 15.
Yep.
So we've all known each other for a good period of time here, and even stayed in touch when we ended up in other places and all that, and stayed buddies and all that good stuff.
Worst mistake I ever made.
And Derek regrets every second of it. Some mistakes you can't undo, man. You know what I mean? As they say.
Oh man!
But that's a good question. Yeah, and we you can't just assume everybody knows the history. That's
and then
sure.
Barrett and I did a show for 4 years together. Quick Slants. Was it 4? Was it 4 years?
4. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 years. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, certainly we do go back, man, and we were legitimately friends, or else we wouldn't still be here. That's for sure. Griffin, do you think the Eagles get no respect because of historically successful teams like the Niners and Cowboys doing well, and the Eagles don't have the rich history of winning? Maybe, Griffin. Maybe there's a little bit of that. I think it's more like the pundits or the networks. It's just my opinion. Are always going to err towards a team like the Cowboys, who they know is a polarizing team, and they're going to get, a fair amount of love and a benefit of the doubt, if you will, most of the time. I don't know if there's everybody hates the Eagles kind of thing. I'm not sure that's.
Let me add something to that, Rob. As I got entrenched in the Philadelphia sports scene, I would listen to local media people, especially those who were from Philadelphia, who would always cry foul about the outside media looking in, just hating on Philadelphia. And as I've been here now, oh my goodness, over 25 years, I believe there's some truth to that. I think there's just a certain disdain about Philadelphia, and I've never been able to pinpoint why. As I've watched games through the years, whether it's more so football than any other sport, obviously, because this topic is football related. But I can't tell you how many games on a weekly basis through the last 2 decades, when early in the game, either in the open or somewhere at the point in the game, the announcers would make reference to the fact that, hey, this is a city that threw snowballs at Santa back in the late 60s, early 70s. And I'm like, let it die. Yeah. Just let that story's dead.
So
let it die. They keep bringing it up.
Yep.
And when I go to other places, people ask, hey, man, is Philadelphia really as bad as that people say it is? I'm like, no, dude, you got to be there to experience it, man.
Right.
It's a passionate city about everything. And I equate it to, it's like being in a family. The family members going to dog each other when they see fit to dog each other. But you on the outside looking, you better not talk about a family member. That to me, that's Philadelphia.
That's well said.
You know, and I do believe from the media perspective to general fan base, there's just this hate towards Philadelphia that I've never been able to pinpoint why.
Yeah, I think there's some of that. I do think there's I think it's just more of they feel like the fans are bad fans, ingrates. They run players out of town. They're nasty towards other opposing teams. So I think there is still that perception that they're the worst fans in sports.
Which is really shocking to me when you consider the tragedies that have occurred in Oakland stadiums, San Francisco stadiums, LA stadiums, New York, Boston, and they don't get as much negative national publicity as anything that jumps off in Philadelphia.
True.
It just blows me away.
Yeah.
Just passionate fans that, you know, I mean, I'll tell you this. I learned early that more than not, fans think they pay your bill, pay you a salary each year. Since they go to the games, you almost feel obligated to go out there and put a great product out there because they will make it known that, hey, I'm a season ticket holder and I help pay your bills. I help pay your salary.
Yeah.
You actually don't, but I'm gonna let you keep believing that because you come on, you keep going and doing what you're doing to make sure we go out there, we have a great crowd.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and I think they're a fan base that's going to hold you accountable. That's not going to just do the conditional love. Hey, it's okay, go get them next time. They don't. That's not the way they're wired.
No.
So I think that's a piece of it, and they're. Let's face it. I mean, they're knowledgeable in that they're in on like minutia that maybe other fan bases aren't. They're into the little things. They're into the details. You know that I think some other places maybe aren't. So.
I'll say this, Rob. I think that we probably have the highest rate of fan base that watches film that have NFL ticket. I believe we probably are the highest fan base because these guys, you know, they watch film just as intently as I do.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that 100%, Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really good observation. But again, you want to keep firing some questions our way. We will sneak in as many as we can before we get out of here. So a couple things to pass along. Not great stories here. Mike Leach, quarterback at Mississippi State, allegedly suffered a pretty serious heart attack. Had to be airlifted out of his house to a hospital in Mississippi and is in a very critical condition right now. Not doing particularly well, according to some of these reports. So 61 years old, a guy who's been around Texas Tech, Washington State, and now Mississippi State, and he's in a bad way. So just passing that along. They're gearing up for a bowl game, but that, you know, obviously secondary when it comes to this guy's health. University of Texas basketball coach Chris Beard was arrested Monday morning on felony domestic violence. He's in the booking process. He was arrested by Austin, Texas police at 4:18 in the morning, 3rd-degree charge of assault of family/household member, impede breath circulation or strangulation.
Wait, impede what?
Impede breath.
So he was choking somebody?
Or, allegedly.
Jeez.
Now his attorney is all kinds of fired up. Perry Minton told the Austin American-Statesman that Beard is 100% innocent of the charges. He'd have never been arrested. The complainant wants to release him immediately and all charges dismissed. It's truly inconceivable. who knows? Here we go with the he said, she said. I don't know. But, not a great look, no matter how you slice it. I did want to pass this along. Grant Wall was a journalist for SI and Fox and was a real champion of soccer. And I loved his college hoops coverage back in the day when he really specialized in that. But he sadly, completely suddenly out of the blue, while covering the World Cup in Qatar, collapsed and died Friday, essentially on the spot during the Argentina-Netherlands game.
Did you see the video from his brother?
Did you
see that video?
No, I didn't.
Now, his brother supposedly is gay, and he got on this video on social media, and he talked about he firmly believes his brother was murdered because his brother, in support of his brother, would wear the colors.
Yeah, the rainbow.
Yeah, the colors.
They detained him early on over there in Qatar for just wearing the shirt.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know the brother was saying that. Jeez.
Yeah. So his brother believes that his brother was murdered, over there, and it's like, man.
Well, leading up the week leading up to Friday when he sadly passed, he was having some health issues, right? Yeah. He was having he thought he had bronchitis, and he went to one of the medical tents and they prescribed him some stuff, and he was saying after he took it, he said he felt like a weight on his chest, and he said he was feeling a little bit better, but he still wasn't himself. I don't know, man. That's scary. I didn't know that was what was going on, but sad, very sad, sad stuff, man. That's for sure. This is interesting. Brittany Griner is still she's at one of the U.S. bases back here in, I think, San Antonio, but picked up a basketball for the very first time in 10 months and dunked after all that time. I mean, are you kidding me? A lot of
pent-up energy, man.
I guess so.
Night.
Yeah, kind of interesting, right? Carson Wentz has been activated.
Who?
You remember that guy?
Who?
Activated from injured reserve, will still serve as the back. What a shock! It's still going to be the backup to Taylor Heineke.
He should change his name from Carson Wentz to Carson Gone.
Yeah,
that's what he should.
But Rivera was asked about it, and he was like, "Well, I'm comfortable with Taylor." Yeah, you think?
Yeah, you think? Yeah.
He's been out for a while. Has Carson? He was not exactly crushing it when he was there, but the teammates believe in Heineke, and there's no way they're not rolling with him the rest of the season, right?
No.
Yeah, there is no chance. So a couple other little odds and ends there. All right, I want to get some birthdays in here. And again, you want to keep firing questions for us. You do that, and then we will circle back to the Eagles here. But birthdays, some decent ones. Frank Sinatra, the chairman of the board, was born on this day in 1915.
Old Blue Eyes.
Yeah, Old Blue Eyes. Old is right. He would have been 107 with Old Blue Eyes today. Jeez. Jennifer Connelly, the actress, who's been in a lot of stuff. A Beautiful Mind. She was the wife in that one with Russell Crowe. Was 52 years old today.
Won an Academy Award for that.
Yeah, she was brilliant in that. Bob Barker, The Price is Right, is still with us and is 99 years young.
God bless him. Wow.
Whoa, man. And still it's still active, still with it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Remember Caddyshack?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
The Price is Wrong, bleep. Yes.
I mean, he punched out Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
The golf course.
Yep. So he's 99. Regina Hall, actress, 52 years old.
Can't believe she's 52 now. Wow.
I know, man, right? Crazy. Dionne Warwick, 82 years old.
Yep.
Still doing her thing. Sheila E. Prince fame.
Glamorous Life.
Glamorous Life.
I love her.
Percussionist. Yeah, she was good, man. Yeah, 75 years old.
My brother knows her. Played with her. Yeah, played sets with her. Yeah.
That was his time there with all those guys, right?
Yeah.
Edward G. Robinson, the actor from way back in the day, was born in 1893 on this day. Mayim Bialik is 47. She was Blossom and then Jeopardy host fame. She's also
and Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, and she is a microbiologist
biologist
or something. Yeah, as well. She's super smart. Former mayor of New York, Ed Koch, was born on this day in 1924. He is no longer with us. Mike Golick. Golick Sr. is 60 years old, former Eagle, still doing Westwood One radio as a color analyst, but a long time in the talk show business. Though had a morning show with ESPN with Mike Greenberg. Andrew Whitworth just retired last year. Ram.
Yep.
Is 41 years old. Grover Washington Jr.
One of my favorites.
One of the all-timers. He was born he died very young, sadly, but he was born on this day in 1943. But he was great, man. He when I was a kid, when the Sixers were really good with Dr. J and Moses Malone and that crew, he would do the national anthem sax a lot. He and Doc were real tight. He's a Philly guy too, but they were super tight. But he had just the two of us, and
Yep.
Oh man, he's had a lot of hits. But he did this instrumental thing for Doc when Doc was retiring. You guys got to go back and listen to it, man. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's really good. So that's all I got for birthdays. You guys got anything?
Yeah. I mean, John Randall, one of the most feared defensive linemen in football. It's 55 today.
That's good.
Ed Oliver from the Bills.
Yeah.
25.
Excellent.
Brad Smith, he
former Missouri
quarterback, became wide receiver.
Yeah, carved out a nice little career for a few years.
Tyron Smith,
turned
32 today.
Okay.
Former, he's still with him right now.
Okay.
Bill Nye.
Nice. Yeah.
He's from Underworld.
Yep.
Oh, he played Davy Jones in the Pirates of the Caribbean.
He did play Davy Jones.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
That's all I want to talk about right now. I mean, Mike Glennon's 33.
Mike Glennon, the longest neck in the history of football.
Yeah, Mr. Neck himself.
Yeah, really.
Yep.
Well, yeah, T.J. Ward, former NFL player, is 36.
Yep.
Andrew Ladd of the Arizona Coyotes, he's still in his 37.
Okay.
And you have, I think, I don't want to do this discredit, Madchen Emick. She's 52, played on Twin Peaks. I never watched Twin Peaks, but I guess it was a popular show at one point.
Okay.
Never watched it. So that's it. Rounding it out. That's it.
Birthdays movies are pretty weak. I got Scream 2, which actually wasn't bad, which came out in 90. So they ended up making like 15 of them, but the second one still wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
They came out in 97. I didn't really see much else that was all that.
Home Alone 3 came out in 97.
Yeah.
Three Amigos came out in 1986.
I love that movie. That's a good movie.
Love that movie, man.
Okay.
And then The Day the Earth Stood Still came out in 2008.
That's not bad.
I liked it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. All right, so Nick Sirianni on Aaron Sippos just minutes ago. Lower leg injury, going to have to bring in a replacement. Quote, going to be a little longer than we expected. So that's not great. That's not great.
Yeah.
To who?
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe it is, Rob. I don't know.
You know what?
Who knows?
That's fair. Yeah. So I as we get word on the other guys, Lane and anybody else, we will pass it along. Reed Blankenship, et cetera. We will pass it along for where things are. But yeah, that's too bad that he's out. But the only thing I worry about is I get it. He wasn't great. But just continuity and how that's going to look. But there's plenty of guys. I like the guy Kern from Tennessee, who was there forever. If you remember him, I think he could be an option that they might bring in.
Possibility.
Yeah,
I know they got a plethora of guys coming in. If Sippos is out an indefinite period of time, and like Barrett said, one man's injury is another man's opportunity.
100%.
They may find somebody and make you forget all about Sippos, depending on what he comes in here and does. I mean, I don't know if they're going to find an Ariza out there, but you know what? You can find somebody who wasn't much worse than Sippos. I mean,
I would have liked for them to have kept Cam Johnson back in the day, but it is.
Yeah,
what it is.
still can't believe they let him go.
We're way past that, I guess, at this point. But just circling it back to the game and the Giants, when the danger in a division game like that, and we saw it when the Eagles played Washington and lost, it's usually kind of throw out the records and it's going to get ugly and you're going to have to just kind of get out of there and survive. Look at the way the Eagles played there last year.
Yeah.
It was one of the more poor games they played all season, right? This shows you how different and how much you know, how good this team is and how different they are. Like, you know, this never became an NFC East game in that sense. It was just the better team manhandled the worst team. And that's one of the things I love about this team. They rarely, you know, let the bad team hang around. They've had a couple games where they weren't perfect, the Colts and the Texans, but for the most part, they generally come out swinging, you know, and this was definitely another case of that on Sunday. That's for sure with this team.
They put so much stress on the opposition,
right,
that it plays right into their hands of what they want to do on both sides of the football. And you look at the success that defense has had over the last 3 or 4 games in particular, but look at how those games played out from Green Bay to Tennessee to the Giants. You know, you force these teams to come out of their so-called game plan, and it benefits the Eagles, man. And, you know, when you have an offense that can go down and just score at will, whether it's a long sustained drive or hit you in a quick strike, you know, that's a whole lot of stress that you sometimes, well, at least the last 3 teams they played just cannot overcome. They just don't have the personnel to overcome it. You know, and, you know, kudos to them. I expect to see a game similar to that against Chicago coming up, leading to that Dallas game.
Yeah, I do too. Go ahead, Doc.
And you know, I'm hoping they don't. In fact, they have something they can, you know, give an accurate parameter on as far as, you know, team going in there controlling the clock. They can't let that team control the clock by running the ball more than they do. They got to make sure they sustain long drive. Like yesterday was perfect. The first drive, like 8 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And you got to control the clock when you go against a team like you know, like the Bears. You know, they're going to try to keep the ball on their side of the ball, and you know, make sure that they score every time, every opportunity. That way, you know, you put the Eagles, you make them try to hype it up a little bit more. You know, thinking they have to make sure they score to keep up. So it's imperative that we run the rock more effectively than them and keep them on the sideline. Make them anxious.
Barrett, the Eagles drive, they go 14 on the first drive offensively, 14 plays touchdown. Next drive, 12 plays touchdown. And then the other one, it was a 1 play after that you know, messed up punt. They could go up top to AJ Brown. It was like pop, pop, pop. And then all of a sudden there's 8:16 left and you're down 21-0. And that took all the heart out of them, you know? And it was you know, it's hard for the Eagles fans to take over in North Jersey because the Giants have so many season ticket holders. So it's a little bit more of a challenge. But by all accounts, man, that place just got quiet and they were rolling out of there in the third quarter.
It seemed like our fan base was there. Like everybody came up. Like all 80,000 people were Eagles fans. And they said it was around about 18 to 20,000 Eagles fans there.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I
wouldn't be surprised if it was more than that.
Well, the other interesting one, although it's December and it's going to be mid-December, which no thanks for me, but Chicago's a great town. We all know that. I think the Eagles fans will probably travel pretty well.
Oh, absolutely.
This upcoming week.
No question. Chicago's just a great town to visit, period. You know, especially the downtown area. One of my favorite downtowns in all of America.
I love the taste down there.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you like going to steakhouses for chicken. I don't even want to talk about that. You know?
Oh, let's hope no fog comes up either.
No, we don't want that. No,
because
you're right on Lake Michigan too. Oh no, and I'm gonna tell you what, you said jokingly, Barrett. That fog on Lake Michigan from Milwaukee down to Chicago ain't no joke, man. You talk about fog here. That fog ain't no joke off Lake Michigan, dude.
No.
So you're right about that. That we don't want another fog game like you guys had back, in the 90s?
It was 80.
Oh, in the 80s?
88, 89. Yeah, 80. It was New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. And the crazy thing is, as soon as the game ended, it cleared up. Like, there's no way they should have had to force those guys to play. It was bad. It was awful for the players. The TV, you couldn't see what was going on. It was a real.
But I heard they were losing when the fog rolled in anyway.
They were. The Eagles actually were playing really well in that game. It's a shame. Bummer. That was a bummer. But you're right. Yeah, there could. I don't know if would it work the same way with the way the new. I guess it would with the way the new the Soldier Stadium.
It's still right there on the water. Still right there. Yeah.
I know they're looking to get out of there, right? By all accounts, they're looking to move.
Yeah, they're going to move out to Arlington, which had one of the greatest racetracks ever. I used to go there a lot when I was a kid with my family. Arlington Heights. And they're going to take over. It's like 300 something acres of land there. They're taking over. City of Chicago tried their best to get them to stay. All these cities make these final pushes after they take this hard stance. Well, we can't do this. We can't increase taxpayers this. But the bottom line is that stadium downtown generated a lot of income from September to January for a lot of businesses down there, restaurants, hotels, gift shops. And now, you know what? You got too big for your britches, and it's going to cost you because they're going to move like 25 miles outside of Chicago to Arlington Heights. And that's a great area also. Right. More spacious area. The only thing I didn't like was trying to park down there. I mean, it was a pain in the butt parking down there.
Okay.
But moving out to Arlington Heights, great move for the organization. And they're still going to keep the fan base. People may hem and haw. They're still going to go to games. It's a little easier trip to get out there than it is down in the city.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us. Want to thank Xander Krause for the program. All you guys in the chat section, you're the best. Everybody listening, everybody streaming, great numbers today. We'll keep it rolling tomorrow. We'll get you continue to talk about the Eagles, get you set for the Bears game, look around the league like we always do. Maybe later in the week, we'll get our old buddy Marshall Harris on, who's covering the Bears in Chicago, who I heard made a prediction today.
M.H.
He was just here this weekend.
I heard he predicted the Bears would win the game.
Oh, we got to get him on because I want to get him. He knows he's another one. I can get under his skin real quick.
Yeah, so I think we do
you
that.
Take pride in that, don't you?
I do.
He does enjoy that. Yeah.
I do.
Get in there, Gunner. All right,
hey,
so
real quick, Richie Mack. He said, "Gunner, where's the old office?" My wife's a little under the weather. I left her upstairs so she's gonna have to get up and rest. But I'll be back in my office this week. Those of you talking about my fake fish, whatever the case may be, I don't care. I'll be back in my cove later this week.
All right, so that'll do it for us. The National Football Show with Dan Cilio is coming up. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. For Derek, for Barrett, I'm Rob. We are Sports.
Play that music. Play that music.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio. Destination Downingtown is rolling back prices for December to remember. For a limited time, you can own, not lease, brand new 2023 Jeep Wranglers for only $30,995 or $339 per month. New Rams starting at only $30,995 or new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs $189 per month. Zero down can deliver. Get the price you want, the selection you need, and the VIP treatment you deserve. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Big Finish Sales Event.
Did you know taxes could be your biggest expense?